Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet. I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Actually, this is the most humble Pope, Apostate Prophet, and I am here with the Orthoboro anti-Pope, David. What's up, David? How you doing?
Yo, what's up?
What's up, man? Hey, some people say they got the shirt. They got the shirt. Is Wiz says listening, wearing my new AP T-shirt. You got this one? You can order it in the description or under the. Oh shit! I didn't actually didn't put the description. That's funny. I guess I need to do that. um, but yeah, that's out as merch, and you can get it. I think I recently changed the shirts and then didn't actually put them back up under the watch page. I need to do that. But you can get these shirts if you go on the YouTube channel page and go to the very right tab where it says shop, and then you can get them. Or I also share them on my post tab. But I'll put them on here. I'll put them on here. Anyway, how's everybody doing? David, what's up, man?
Section 4 called you the anathema prophet, and you are now anathema.
Apparently I am.
And Gaia said, AP, you are the humblest EO super pope. Why don't you excommunicate him back?
I could just excommunicate everyone, you know. I could just say, hey, you know, I'm sick of this stuff. Everyone is hereby excommunicated.
Yep. You know what? You know what? I'm sick of all you guys. You're all excommunicated. Boom.
No,
that's how you do it.
Everybody. I'm not even like you guys, no, these guys, just everybody. Everybody's excommunicated. Since I have the power, or since everybody has the power to just say, hey, this guy's a heretic, that guy's a heretic, and so on and so forth. So somebody's generous. Jack Ray, what's up, man? Jack Ray always gifting memberships, gifted 5 memberships to 5 people who are lucky enough to become members of this channel and thereby be enslaved forever, because as everybody knows, once you join the channel, there is no leaving out. You can join, but you can never leave. That's how it is.
Welcome to the hotel, Apostate Prophet.
Everybody who decides to leave the membership will be put to death. Oh, brother, says AP got a wide forehead plus widow's beak. Exactly. If Dyer is Rocco, he's not saved. Well, that's not for you to decide, is it? Open source excommunications, exactly. AP looks well groomed. I don't know. You're under a great deal of confusion, because I am heavily sweating. This is basically sweaty here because I have been like working on building and moving stuff all day long. But thank you. Jack Ray, apostolic preacher, and Mike Winger back at it. That's right. That's how we roll. You know, it's kind of messed up, man. Like, I know David has a long history of problems with Mike Winger. And I initially also was of similar opinions. I thought, you know, it's fun to, just say funny things about Mike Winger, until I met him in person. So I went to this conference where Mike Winger was present, and I heard Mike Winger is there. So I go over to Mike Winger. I'm trying to seek him out, and I encounter him. I'm like, hey, Mike Winger, right? And he's like, yeah, come here for a second. So I go over to him. He grabs me by the neck. He grabs my shirt, pulls me up, and says, you have been talking trash about me. If I ever hear you say anything again, I'm going to beat you up. You will regret it. I said, okay, man, I'm sorry. So since then, I kind of like Mike Winger. But I'm not sure if I'm compelled to like him. But I since then I look more favorably upon Mike Winger, who is the best Christian apologist and the first Christian apologist to tackle Islam effectively.
Well, because he started acting like a Turk for 5 seconds.
Yeah. Snowman the Man says, just realized that Surah 89 is titled The Proof. This is the proof. Apostate of Allah says, Mike Winger humiliated AP. Choked him like Jibreel. Mike Winger used his nerd powers to entice AP. Defamation, you see. He humiliated AP. Typical. See, people notice. People are noticing a pattern here. AP has been groomed by Mike Winger. So anyway, David, have you heard of this guy named Dyer?
Yeah, that's a dude who, after a bunch of Coptic Christians got their heads chopped off by ISIS, he said they're not martyrs, and now he has the power to kick people out of the church, man. That's pretty nuts.
Hail King Winger. Mort Akram AP, I've been praying for that for so long. Love you. I love David and have supported you both, and I love Mike Winger. Good. So here's the thing. I had a big conflict within me today. And David, you might not understand because you're a psychopath, but I've had like very intense feelings about what we're supposed to talk about today. Because on the one hand, I thought to myself, I want to review this whole debacle between Mohammed Hijab and Tommy Robinson. Then I also thought, it's like, it's just a trivial thing to talk about. And then I have just been attacked by Jay Dyer, and I thought it's kind of a mess to make the live stream about Jay Dyer, because I kind of I don't really want to feed into this whole idea that there is an infighting going on among Christians. So, but then after a while, as I kept thinking about it, I thought, oh, wait a minute, it's not infighting between Christians if it's between us and Jay Dyer, because we are Christians. No, seriously, I thought to myself, I don't know how much I can be graceful or understanding with the stuff that Jay Dyer says and does. Remember, David, we invited him last year. Mm-hmm. It was last year. It was literally a year ago. Maybe less than a year ago.
In the spirit of magnanimity, your new favorite word.
Yes, we were magnanimous, and and despite him attacking us, despite him repeatedly attacking us and relentlessly attacking us, despite let's go all the way back. Actually, let's go all the way back.
We decided to build bridges anyway and invite him on.
Let's go all the way back. Let's go way back before that. I first talked to Jay Dyer years ago when people recommended that I talk to Jay Dyer, because I was a hardcore atheist and generally looked favorably on Christianity from my very, very high position of I am the smartest and I know everything. And I know that God does not exist. And people were telling me to discuss with Jay Dyer. I did eventually decide to discuss with Jay Dyer. So I invited him for a conversation, and I wanted to genuinely ask him questions that I had about the existence of God and belief in God and all that. Now, people were under the impression that, of course, Jay Dyer can resolve such problems immediately and turn you into a Christian. I had my discussion with him. I thought it was generally nice. It was friendly. It was respectful. He said nice things about me. I said nice things about him. We talked. But the thing is, I wasn't convinced at all, not even in the slightest. Because what I thought, and I said this also before, that I don't think that his arguments actually worked in any way. They were highly fallacious. They were not resolving anything in any way, and he was for some reason trying to argue with the transcendental argument for God.
Oh, hey, that's what I was about to ask you. What arguments did he use? Because I haven't watched him, but I've heard that he basically copied the presuppositional apologetics from a bunch of Calvinists and then just adapted it for Eastern Orthodoxy. So that would transcendental argument would be like Exhibit A there.
The thing is, I have generally thought, and with all due respect, I am different today. I actually believe in God. I pray every day to the best of my abilities and all that. And I try to be a Christian, but most importantly, I believe in God. And generally, arguments like that for the existence of God haven't really helped me. But that argument specifically, I thought, He makes it appear complicated, but it's actually quite simple, and I do not think it is in any way convincing. And to this day, I think it is. The entire thing is built on fallacious thinking, and it is in no way convincing. And I try to understand, and I try to think, okay, did I get something wrong? Is it really this simple? It can't be this simple, because it is clearly unconvincing. So I try to understand it, and I watched his videos, and he was saying what I actually thought he was saying, and it was a terrible argument, to be honest. No disrespect to all those who think it's a good argument. I just don't think it is in any way convincing to somebody who actually does not believe in the existence of God, and who doesn't take Christianity as foundation. And that was the problem. I was not a Christian, and I needed to be convinced that God is real. So that was a terrible approach, in my opinion. Nevertheless, I expressed my disagreement with it. I told him that I'm not convinced, and we stayed friends, right? He was not convinced that I'm correct, but we were still friendly with each other. He was watching my videos and sharing my videos, and I was telling people all the time for years, look, I have great disagreements with Dyer. I think that some of the things that he does are a little bit too much, the whole conspiracy mindedness. But I think he's incredibly intelligent, and maybe he's a bit too intelligent for his own good. That's generally how I thought. Yet we were always in touch, and we were always friendly. Then at some point he started attacking me. The thing is, he only first began attacking me after I became a Christian, which was very odd. I think about this sometimes, and it's very, very strange, you know. They talk about Jews in these incredibly disparaging ways, and of how Jews hate Christians, and Jews hate Christ, and all that stuff. You know, the people after Protestant Christians that I got the most that I got sincere congratulations from repeatedly were Jews when I became a Christian. Many Christians that I knew personally, many Jews that I knew personally, that I was in touch with, including very well-known Jews on the scene, which texted me when I became a Christian to congratulate me and to express happiness that I have faith in God and all that, right? That is a very, very interesting thing. But I started going to the Orthodox Church. Those who were least welcoming to me, those who were least friendly, and those who were least rejoiced by this, for some reason, were the Orthodox. Among them, Dyer. He became hostile toward me. He started attacking me. He started making false claims and lies about me and all that. That was last year. He then insisted, when David and I were live, remember that, he came into the chat, and I know he's going to watch this too, because he's so self-absorbed that he has to watch. Like, if you make a 1,000 views video that is about him, he will watch it. I can guarantee you. So he's going to be watching this. I'm sorry, Jay, I didn't want to bring it to this. I tried talking to you. He wanted us to bring him on to debate him. I said, Jay, wait. We're going to do a live stream in which you and I and David will talk together. So he waited. Next day, we arranged a live stream, and the three of us were live together. 3,000, nearly 4,000 people were watching. We were actually live together for 4 hours or something like that. He came in with a hostile attitude.
Really?
For
some reason, I thought he was on there for 10 or 15 minutes with us or something.
No, he was on with us for like 4 hours.
No, all I remember is we asked him about the Coptic martyrs thing, and he says, "Well, I'm not saying they're not saved. I don't know," or something like that. And then,
he came to fight, and we kind of broke the ice, and I started like joking and all that, and he joined in, and then we started sincerely talking about all our disagreements, and at the end we had no problems. He even said to me that he has no problem with my support for Israel, for example. We talked about what kind of Zionism that is that I have, right, that I stick to and all that, and what kind of Christianity it is. And he said to me very clearly that my support for Israel and my Orthodox Christian faith are in no way contradictory. He said these things. He even said that he agrees to an extent with my support for Israel. So we made peace. I made an effort, we made peace, and we were good again. And then he started speaking well of me for a few days. Then I started hearing, oh, Dyer just called you this and this and this on his
You
stream.
said Jay Dyer.
Dyer is talking to you right now on his live stream. He's calling you a shield.
Jay Dyer Binks.
So I ignored it for a while. I actually checked because I couldn't believe it. I went on his live stream and I hear him talk all kinds of trash about me. I just ignore it and just move on. He keeps attacking me and keeps attacking me and keeps attacking me. Then eventually he attacked God Logic, and I jumped in and I called him out and said that Dyer is just is jealous and he attacks any Christian who is successful, which was then suddenly perceived as me starting a fight and attacking Orthodox Christians. It's very, very strange how that works, isn't it? You have that guy, their God, Dyer, whom the Orthodox worship, attacking me and us day and night. I respond once, and it's like, oh, why are you fighting? Why are you starting a fight? Why are you attacking fellow Christians? Are you freaking serious, man? And then
every single time, by the way, every single time, someone, could be anyone, not even talking about Jay here, someone can attack you and attack you and attack you and attack you and attack you. You ignore him, you ignore him, you ignore him. He can attack you, you can ignore him, attack you 50 times, you ignore him every time, then start attacking everyone else, start trying to derail what people are doing for the kingdom. You finally, reluctantly respond, and it's, why are you causing division?
And why are you attacking the Orthodox Church?
Mm-hmm.
That's what they came up with. I respond to Dyer, and it's like, why are you attacking the Orthodox Church? You see, this is the proof that you're just a subversive Zionist Jew. Are you people mentally ill? So, I let it go for a while. I think, anyway, let's not engage in it. He continues attacking me. For some weird reason, he keeps thinking about, these days, he keeps thinking every day about God Logic. He can't do anything without thinking about God Logic.
Why do you think that might be? I mean, lots of Christian apologists out there. Why God Logic?
It's very, very easy. And here I'm going to make a claim, and I will say it is 100% true, just going by the sentence of Dyer. It is because God Logic is successful and popular.
Huh? That's what I thought.
And Dyer is not.
Yeah,
that is the funny thing.
Lots of Christian apologists out there. Lots of Christian apologists doing various things. Why focus on that one dude and obsessively go after him, even when it makes no sense? Like it was a tweet from was it yesterday or the day before? Avery just responded to someone about Islam, and Dyer jumps in there. You're a heretic and this and that, man. Like you can't even. And I posted, I'm like, you can't even criticize Islam anymore without these guys jumping in to rescue Islam. Hang on, let me find that, man.
Dude, he spends his day and night in God Logic's comment section nowadays.
Yeah. So a Muslim said, the greatest man of all time is Prophet Muhammad. Avery quote tweeted that and said, Muslims think a man who married a 6-year-old is greater than Jesus. Wild. Now, if there's anything that you would think Christians of any background would agree on, it's that perfectly good idea to point out that it's insane to think of Muhammad as greater than Jesus. So Avery quote tweets that and says, Muslims think a man who married a 6-year-old is greater than Jesus. Wild. That's it. That's his entire post. Jay's response is, you are a Zionist heretic. You're a Zionist heretic. Yeah, you can't even point out the obvious. You can't even compare Jesus and Muhammad. You can't even point out that Muslim beliefs about Muhammad being the greatest man ever are absurd without Dyer calling you a Zionist heretic.
Islamist. Zionist. I wonder if he abstained from using the word Zionist because he's now paranoid that if he uses that word, something will happen. I don't know.
The Zionists are going to come get him.
So this is what he does nowadays. He literally spends his entire his day and his night in God Logic's comment section. You can see that right here. Here first, You see him talk about God logic. Unrelated post, he talks about God logic. Unrelated post, talks about God logic. This here, to be fair, is my post and he talks about God logic. He posts about God logic. Posts about God logic. 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 Every single post here is about God logic. It keeps going and going and going. Here you have him spend time in God Logic's comment section. You can see that by his replies, including the handle God Logic.
By the way, think about how insane this is, right? Because we point out, hey, isn't it weird that the guy who is doing most right now to completely discombobulate Dawa guys, and that's God Logic, right? Yeah, we know it. That's God Logic. God Logic is the one who's sending all these guys into panic mode. He's the one showing up at their mosque. He's the one debating them and crushing them and sending them into retirement and so on. And then making them attack each other because someone will do a terrible job against Avery. Then people will lash out at him. Then they lash out back and stuff like that. And so anyway, people are flipping out. You would think that anyone, Christian or even non-Christian, would think it's a good idea, and yet the orthobros have to jump in there and attack Avery. They have to attack Avery, and yet, when Jay Dyer kicked everything off and said, "Bingo," to this day, cleave to antiquity and stuff, he'll represent this as. It was just one word, bingo. What planet do you guys live on? It's not just bingo. You keep doing it over and over again every single freaking day. You're running interference for Dawa guys and keyboard jihadis. You're running interference for them. I mean, Mike Jones, Inspiring Philosophy, he got doxxed. His family got doxxed. Home address, gave a layout of his house, showed the room, the exact room where he live streams in, showed people, Muslims, how to find that room so that you would know exactly where he is when he's live. So you would know exactly where to find this guy whenever he is live. IP realized, wait, they've got my info. They know exactly where I am when I'm live. They got my home address. I've got my wife here. I need to get out of here. So he just quietly tried to do a quick sale of his house, didn't sell. He still realized he had to get out of there, did a GoFundMe. And what does Cleve say? Looks like this is a scam and a grift. He looks like this might be a money laundering scheme. This needs to be investigated, money laundering scheme. You're freaking helping doxer jihadis who are targeting Christians, who are wrecking Dawa, and you're freaking helping them. And these guys think they're the good guys in all this. They think they're the good guys, and that somehow this all means that they're the true church. This is insane, man.
Look at this. Generally, Kikachu. They want to present this as a joke, right? This, look, Muslim came and said bingo to Jay Dyer, Orthobro, but he's actually in agreement with him. And you have you have them actually liking his post, and you have some of their supporters here, obviously a completely messed up Jew-hating or whatever creature this is. I'm starting to prefer you guys over the Zionist gang. This is their general attitude that they have. Mm-hmm. It's not like, oh yeah, we also of course agree that Muslims are completely bad and all that. No, they start agreeing with each other and sharing each other's stuff. And you see what they're doing. It's like they will start attacking people like Avery, God Logic, who, I'm going to make a wild claim here, is probably, I mean, through him alone, more people probably came to believe in Jesus as their Lord than all the Orthobros combined. And this is the guy that they attack day and night. They attack these guys, and they buddy up with the Islamists, who are the number one enemy of the church, of Christians, the number one oppressor of Christians around the world by far. It's not even close. The number one enemies of the Christian faith, of Jesus. They are buddying up with those guys while attacking those who invite Muslims to become Christians day and night.
Or people who just expose Islam in any way. They rush in there to derail it. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you refute Islam or expose Islam or cause people to leave Islam or cause people to doubt Islam? How dare you do that?
Am I supposed to believe that this is a Christian movement in any sense or form? I don't, honestly. I mean, the thing that has come to be known as the Orthobros reminds me in no way of a Christian spirit, of anything that you take away from reading the Bible, of anything that you take away from reading the New Testament, the words of Christ, the words of the Apostle Paul. In no way, including, by the way, blatantly lying. Dyer started attacking us again for no reason at all. He started attacking me. And what he just did most recently, so this happened, he starts attacking God logic again. He's obsessed with it. God logic criticizes Muhammad and Muslims and says Muslims think that a man who married a 6-year-old is greater than Jesus. Wild. To which Dyer responds with, "You are a Zionist heretic." Sorry, Zionist heretic.
Zionist, man. Don't misquote him.
Zionist heretic. To which I responded, "When you fight Islam, enemies of the West come to their defense and try to distract you with trivial nonsense. They help Islam."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at this point, I could expand it and to say enemies of Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
In all honesty, because I'm trying to be a little bit more reserved, but then he does this. He responds to me by saying, "Ridwan is also a heretic."
You're a heretic too.
He calls me a heretic. He says that I am also a heretic who has not been received into the Orthodox Church because he wouldn't give up his stupid heresy of Christian Zionism.
No, Xian Islamism.
Xian Islamism. Hey, what the hell? He did it again. So he does do that deliberately. This guy's mentally unwell, man. He also ran off with another woman from Israel and left his wife. So far, how many lies can people spot in this post alone who actually know me? A little bit. The entire Wood AP God Logic IP sphere are grifters. But God Logic is a fraud for different specific reasons. I'm not going to go into that and even entertain this. But this is how he responds to me. This guy is supposed to be a Christian. Look, I'm really struggling with something these days, especially when I see this kind of behavior. When I see Dyer do something like this, I really struggle with an issue, which is it's one thing for a person to repeatedly fall into sin, to repeatedly make mistakes, right? To deal with, I don't know, with addictions, with lust, and with swearing, whatever it is, stuff that you kind of don't really want to do, that you want to leave and no longer engage in, but you keep falling back into it. For that, I would say, well, every Christian kind of deals with it, right? It's a sinful world, and you deal with this stuff, and you try to be better, but you fall back into it again because you're not perfect. You do your best. It is a completely different thing when somebody so deliberately lies about other Christians. I just do not understand it. That, as I understand it, I mean, tell me, please help me understand this. Please enlighten me, everybody. I don't think, after just becoming a little bit familiar with the Gospels, with the Christian message, I do not think I could in any way knowingly lie about other Christians just to harm them, to insult them, to score points or anything like that. Dyer is knowingly lying. He's not just making weird connections here. He's knowingly lying about another Christian just because he wants to. Let's talk about the lies. First off, he declares me a heretic. What authority does a layperson in any church have to simply declare a fellow Christian a heretic? And if I said outright heretical things, if I began outright denying, I don't know, certain things that we know to be true, and that the church has agreed to about the nature of Christ and of God and all that. That would be one issue. Can you show one thing? There is nothing. He calls me a heretic. He declares me a heretic. I am an Orthodox Christian. By some people's definition, it would be you would only be an Orthodox Christian once you're baptized into the church and whatever. Mostly they will say, well, you are technically one if you are part of it. I wonder at this point who gives him the
Andrew Wilson says no, man. Andrew Wilson says no.
Who gives him the authority to make these decisions? And who is cowardly enough? I'm sorry, I just can't help it. If I'm overstepping, I apologize. I am maybe making a mistake, but I just cannot help it. Who is cowardly and sloppy enough to allow people like him to continue doing these things in public? I do not understand. Wouldn't there be some people in his church authority, in his church leadership, and wherever it is, to tell him, hey, you are going way too far. You can say this kind of stuff about other Christians. What kind of cowardly system is it that just lets him do this kind of stuff with approval? Aren't people aware of the influence that this guy has among a bunch of retarded incels online?
Mm-hmm. That's why they don't call him out, dude. Right? You got the Orthodox Church. It's a tiny fraction of Christians in like the United States, and so when anyone is bringing in new people, especially young men, you get excited. Hey, there's an influx of young dudes. Well, that's because of people like Dyer and the online orthobros and stuff like that. So kind of rough to call him out, man. Kind of rough to call him out.
But let's break it down. He says that I am a heretic who has not been received into the Orthodox Church because I wouldn't give up the stupid heresy of Christian Zionism. All right. Yeah. I already explained this roughly a little bit. My Zionism.
Hey.
Let's just address one part here. What? Baby?
No, I just wanted to point out he knows this because you discussed it with him. So he knows exactly what your position is. He knows it's not Christian Zionism.
Oh yeah.
And so he knows he's freaking lying, and he's declaring you a heretic based on his lie about you that he knows is a lie. This isn't, I just heard, I've heard some things about AP or something like this. He knows exactly what your position is because he literally discussed it with you.
Let's demonstrate that right away. Good point. Let's demonstrate that right away.
Hang on. Because there are always people who do not understand.
We'll explain it, man.
Yeah, we need to explain what Christian Zionism is and how that's different from being a Zionist in a different sense.
So Christian Zionism, everybody, some people sometimes get it confused. They think any Christian who is a Zionist is a Christian Zionist, or any Christian who thinks as a Christian, I find it, morally good to support Israel or Zionism as a Christian Zionist. No, it's not it. A Christian Zionism is a very specific ideology. It is an ideology. It is a belief. It is a theological thing that, respectfully, many people, especially in America, subscribe to in certain Protestant circles that have become very dominant in the United States, where the idea is that the Jewish return to their homeland plays a prophetic biblical role, and that Christians should be supporting the Jewish return to their homeland because they are supposed to support these prophetic missions and the bringing of the end times and the return of Christ through all that. So that would be what Christian Zionism actually is. If I believed that it is biblically prophesied that Jews will return to their homeland and that this is what the nation state of Israel is, and thereby I have an obligation as a Christian to support that nation state, I would be a Christian Zionist. If I'm not doing that, if I'm simply a Christian who stands with Jews, who thinks as a Christian, I think I find it for different reasons morally right to support the Jews in their struggle. If I'm simply a Zionist for completely unrelated reasons, but I'm also a Christian, that doesn't mean I'm a Christian Zionist. It could mean that I'm simply a Zionist, right? I know it's a dirty word right now. It could mean that I'm simply a Zionist.
Hang on. That I mean, it is interesting because I would say similar things about other groups if they're being targeted or something like that, but there's just not a word for it that has this negative connotation with
Yeah.
so many people, right? Like, let me go and say, I think Canadians have a right to exist and to defend themselves. You know,
You
you know,
Canadist. You
and
Christian Canadist.
yeah, and it's a different situation. But I mean, suppose people around the world can just flip a switch at the drop of a dime and be like, Canadians are causing all the world's problems. We must destroy Canadians. In that situation, I would say, well, it's actually good that Canadians have a place that they control and that they're not under the control of other people who might decide to wipe them out when tides turn against them and so on. So like my view of a Hortonist, a Tim Hortonist. That's funny. So yeah, so it's basically if I mean, I've pointed out before, like if you wanted to call me a Zionist, it would be Zionist, like in the same sense that Sam Harris would be a Zionist, in that, you know, looking around at the world and how quickly people can just point to Jews and blame them for anything. And somehow it becomes acceptable to point to anything any Jew does and say, see, this is how the Jews are. This is why we need to get rid of them. Little mustache guy was right and stuff. Given how quickly people can flip to that, Sam Harris said, I think it's good. I think it's good that Jews have a place of their own where they're not under other people's control and stuff like that. So that's the sense in which I would be a Zionist, but I would be like that for other groups if it just doesn't have a name. And yet all of these guys who you can explain your position exactly to. Sam Shamoun's another one. Sam knew exactly what our positions were. He even offered to help you argue for that position. And yet when they get mad, they say we're defending Christian Zionism. They know that's a lie, but they also know it stirs people up. And so you just have this situation where you've got all these people who are just will gladly lie about people and then attack them and stir up animosity towards them based on something they know is a lie, and they just don't care. Pretty creepy, man.
Here's a funny thing here. Now, Alex of Hess here, very authentic profile, is of course spamming something about Judaizers. Alex, I want to ask you one question. Do you know what a Judaizer is? Are you aware that when you call me or somebody or David here, for example, a Judaizer, you are objectively wrong because you are just using words that you don't know anything about because you have heard them in your online circles of orthobros and all that.
Oh,
explain to me what Judaizer means to you. Explain it to us.
Yeah. I just wanted to point out, when you say he's just basically an idiot who doesn't know what words mean, you're actually giving the most charitable interpretation of what he's saying. You're assuming he's an idiot who hears a word and is too stupid to think and know definitions and apply things accurately and speak truthfully. You're giving him the benefit of the doubt that he's a moron.
Okay, let's make it very simple then.
The less charitable interpretation would be he's intelligent and he knows what these things mean, and he's a liar. So that would notice Sam Shamoun, Jay Dyer, these guys would be in the they're not ignorant here. They know exactly.
Okay,
they know exactly
David,
what positions
let's
are,
make it
and
very
lie.
simple. Let's make it very simple. Alex, whatever. Don't talk any more trash. Tell me if you're actually honest. Okay, talk to yourself in your head. If you're actually honest and you actually believe that you are godly in any way, please explain to me in the briefest form, exactly, without a shadow of a doubt, why you think I am a Judaizer. Please make it clear to me. I will assess your understanding and your accusation, which I may take seriously based on what you say. Make it very clear in a comment why you think I'm a Judaizer. Go ahead.
Yeah. And that's two things. That's one, what a Judaizer is, and two, why AP is that thing.
You're a Judaizer because you like Jews, you see. Please go ahead and explain it to us. If you actually think you are doing a good and Christian and godly thing, please tell me why you think definitively that I am a Judaizer. Go ahead. Please go ahead. I beg you, go ahead.
I mean, simply simply defining the term Judaizer accurately would completely destroy his points. I don't even think he's going to be able to do that.
Yes, because even if I was doing what this person is accusing me of doing, I would be doing the opposite of what a Judaizer is. This makes literally no sense. This is such a stupid accusation. All right, Hugh, look here. This is his response. This
that
is
was
a
his
Judaizer
response?
support group. Yeah. So you are hereby banned, and I also honestly do not think that you're a Christian. That's it. It's very easy for you guys to decide, right? Who is a heretic, who is a Christian, who's not a Christian. I don't think you're a Christian. You're using words whose meaning you do not understand. If you actually read the text that deals with Judaizers, you would understand what a Judaizer is and how I can in no way be one.
Mm-hmm.
What the Judaizers were doing was teaching that the Gentile converts, that the Gentile Christians must adopt aspects of rabbinic Judaism and must obey and fully practice the law in order to be saved. Does anyone here teach that stuff?
You do. You're a support group for that.
Does anyone here teach that stuff? In fact, do you think Messianic Jews mostly teach that kind of stuff? They don't either. You guys call them Judaizers. They teach the opposite of that. You guys don't know anything. And you just say words that you hear online. And you bear false witness, which I think would be one of the number one, or at least one of the top 3 things that you learn not to do when you actually engage with the scripture. Please tell me how you give people the impression that you are a Christian. How? I'm really curious. But anyway, you're permanently banned now. I gave you a chance. So, that is Christian Zionism. If you believe that the Jewish return to their homeland is tied to end-time prophecy, and you find that it is an obligation for Christians to support that, and that this plays a role in your religion, then you are a Christian Zionist. Do I do that? No, I don't. I have never held such a belief. I do not think that the modern state of Israel plays any role. And I know there will be people who disagree with me because we have a lot of people who support Israel here, and some people may have Christian Zionist beliefs, and indeed do. You may disagree with me there. I don't think that I personally do not think that the nation state of Israel plays a role in prophetic, in end time prophecies. I don't think that it is an obligation for Christians to play a role there and to support that nation state. I think that the fact that Jews exist in this day and that they have their own country is probably a sign of God and by the providence of God, and is a significant thing. But that doesn't make me a Christian Zionist. Guess who else thought that? Many of the early church fathers thought that. St. Augustine thought that. He actually explicitly said that the existence, the continued existence and growth of Jews is a sign of God's providence, and that God still has an ongoing plan with them. Not an ongoing covenant, but an ongoing plan with them. These are things that church fathers thought. And I think the very same thing. I don't think that they have a prophetic or biblical role to play in the nation state that I'm supposed to support. I support them for completely different reasons, for mostly political reasons, or because I think as Christians, it would be a good thing to support them, not that we have to support them, especially in their current fight against the Muslims. I'm not a Christian Zionist. If you want to call me a Zionist, I guess that could be kind of accurate. Guess what? J. Dyer already knows this. Mm-hmm. He already knows that I'm not an Exian Zionist. Exian Zlanist. Because we talked about this with J. Dyer. And guess what J. Dyer said when he heard my understanding of Zionism and my support for Israel? He said that he doesn't think it is in any way a problem or in any way a contradiction with my Christian or Orthodox faith. In fact, we can demonstrate that very, very easily.
You can't prove that. All you've got is trust me, bro.
We can demonstrate that so easily. And I had it just open. Where did it go?
Yeah, 1 second. No, just wanted to add my thoughts on the whole Christian Zionism thing, because you've got actual Christian Zionists in the chat. As far as like Israel and end times and things like that, my view is like, I mean, it could be this could all be connected to the end times and so on, and this could play a role. But for all I know, the end isn't coming for another 10,000 years. So I don't know what's connected to what. And so I wouldn't go out and say that this is connected to this. And that's why I must do this in my life and hold this position and so on. What I do know is I'm commanded to love everyone. Those are ongoing marching orders. So, what I know or don't know about the correct interpretation of end times and so on is pretty irrelevant to final marching orders like loving other people. And so when I see a particular group is on the receiving end of tons and tons of hostility and so on, and people wanting to wipe them out, I don't know. Sometimes it's just good for people to have a spot of their own where the people who want to wipe them out don't have that opportunity. Or they actually are allowed to defend themselves against people who want to wipe them out, which they couldn't if they were completely under the control of other people.
Okay, somebody said St. Augustine didn't say that. All right, so here is one of his quotes. Let's look at that here for a second.
AP brought the Augustine receipts.
Here's St. Augustine of Hippo.
Pulling an apple out of his brain.
The time will come, the end of the world will come, and all Israel shall believe, not they who now are, but their children who shall then be. This is an excerpt from his sermons on the New Testament. In the same ones, and I already presented this in my debate with Andrew Wilson, and am happy to pull out all the texts and all the references. He himself, like most church fathers, clearly said, and this is why some people really need to understand what they're talking about here. These guys did believe. St. Paul himself, the Apostle Paul himself, in Romans 9-11, he said that the time will come when those Jews who are right now your enemies for the gospel's sake will be saved. And that time is to come. John Chrysostom, the great church father, Saint John Chrysostom, who is often quoted with his harshest words about Jews, he himself said that because it did not happen yet, it is yet to happen in the future, that the Jews will be saved. And one thing is not to be misunderstood. What they meant is not what Christian Zionism generally nowadays often, not always, but often is. What they meant is that a time will come where they will find Jesus, where God will speak to them, and thereby through Christ they will be saved. So in the end, God will regather his those he grafted out, and they will be saved, and all Israel will be saved. Not only those who are now the Gentiles who have been grafted in, but also those who rejected Jesus and were grafted out. Those will be grafted back in again, and it will be beautiful. That's what the Apostle Paul says in Romans 11. So the time will come. This is what every single church father believed, because it is what the Apostle Paul said in Romans 11. Read your books. But anyway, let's have that one once again. So he says that I was rejected from the Orthodox Church because I wouldn't give up my stupid heresy of Christian Zionism. Now let's hear what J. Dyer said to us when we talked about my Zionism last year. Many people have this tendency to, because of my decision to go into the Orthodox Church, to tell me my position of supporting Israel's right to exist as we speak. And by Israel, I mean I'm specifically referring now to the nation state of Israel as it is, the secular state of Israel as it exists right now. So they say that my idea of supporting or actively supporting that state's right to exist and to defend itself is incompatible with Orthodox Christianity. And as I look at that question and talk about it with my spiritual father and with others, that I trust in terms of orthodoxy, they say that this is a big misunderstanding, that there is no actual contradiction here, that there would be only a contradiction if I held a theological Zionist position. Watch this moment again. Look at Jay. He will confirm it verbally too. But just pay attention to his reaction to what I say. That I trust in terms of orthodoxy, they say that this is a big misunderstanding, that there is no actual contradiction here, that there would be only a contradiction if I held a theological Zionist position.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
I explained to him very, very clearly my position on Israel, which hasn't changed to this day. As a matter of fact, I would say,
and he nodded vigorously in agreement, in hearty agreement. Jay, if AP's position is heretical and you affirmed it back then, were you a heretic then, or are you a heretic now? Or are you just a lying little weasel who decides positions based on whoever he's mad at the moment?
So he affirmed then that my support for Israel is in no way in contradiction with the church. It would only be in contradiction with the church if I held a theological, i.e. Christian Zionist position. And he heartily affirms that. He nods and says, yeah, it continues.
Well, I think the Orthodox Church is the third largest landowner in Israel. It would be a huge mess if everything suddenly changed and there was no more Israeli government. There was no government at all. It became a sort of a chaotic war zone. I don't think the Patriarch of Jerusalem would want that. So I think even if the Holy Sepulchre,
you bet they wouldn't want that.
Sepulchre Church, if the Patriarch of Jerusalem, if these different entities rely on the existing structure to a degree, I think most people probably would not want some sort of collapse or any kind of Islamic regime. That said, I don't think that precludes criticism of the existing government decisions, which I do think many Orthodox leaders do engage in. I would not call Nasrallah a martyr. I don't know why people would say that. Maybe there's, and I don't think there's a problem with that. So I would assume that your spiritual father is correct that
he started ranting there, which I clipped. You can watch the full clip when you go back to that live stream.
You see, you deleted the part where he said, yes, you're a heretic.
I mean, Jews having a right to exist, which I think even the old Catholic position was that you have to believe that Jews have a right to exist.
Yeah, it was indeed the Catholic position because Augustine himself said that, and they took Augustine's positions very, very seriously.
And by the way, if someone said otherwise, if some church father or something said, no, Jews don't have a right to exist, they must all be wiped out, I'd be like, okay, not interested in this church father.
I think I want to go back and read that, but I was reading about these things when I was preparing for my debate with Andrew Wilson, and I think Augustine himself says that it is forbidden and that Christians should in no way try to destroy the Jews. Now, he wasn't necessarily very charitable to them, and his reasoning was a little bit different, which was that their repeated denial of Christ is kind of a sign of God, but that sign of God is to be continued, and God has a plan with them, and eventually they will be saved through faith in Christ. That's what St. Augustine himself said. But he said very clearly that that Christians should in no way assume that they have the right to kill or destroy the Jews, for example.
I must support, as you said.
That's what St. Augustine said. Yeah, that's. Hey, I'm obsessed with St. Augustine. But so here you have it. In this video, J. Dyer clearly understands, and in the live stream further, I think, as I said, this was 4 hours long. He knows that I don't have a theological Zionist position, that I simply support the state of Israel for completely different reasons. And I also think it would be good for Christians to support Israel, especially right now. He knows this. He doesn't call me a heretic back then. He, in fact, as you have all just seen, very clearly affirms that my Zionism is not a problem, especially not a problem to the church, especially not a problem to my Christian faith or to my Orthodox faith. And suddenly, just a year later, he says that I am a Christian Zionist heretic, that I have not been received into the Orthodox Church because I wouldn't give up my heresy of Christian Zionism. J. Dyer knows that this is completely false, yet he says it anyway.
Wait, which part? The part about you being a Christian Zionist, or the claim that you...
Oh, I will get to that too.
Okay.
I'll get to that too. But he knows very well that I'm not a heretical Christian Zionist. He knows this himself, and he affirmed that. So he knowingly and willingly lies. Mm-hmm. I do not understand how any proper Christian would actually do this. How you would knowingly and deliberately lie about another Christian to score points or to fight.
And here's the thing: you can line up all the orthobros all in a row and say, you got any problem with him just flat out lying about AP, knowing what AP actually believes, lying about that, and then making up the idea that AP, the Orthodox Church, rejects AP as a heretic because of this position that he doesn't hold. Any problem with that, orthobros? They won't. They won't care.
No,
they won't care. Don't. It's justified.
In fact, I did post about it, and orthobros started responding to it. I posted this. This guy casually lies about me. My church has never had a problem with my support for Israel and never denied baptism for it. I'm also not a Christian Zionist, which he knows very well. I've also not run off with another woman from Israel. Liar and false teacher. Later on, I posted the video evidence, and I also invited him to discuss with me once again. And the responses from the orthobros were generally, well, but then why do you support Israel? Oh, yeah, you do support Israel. But why about this? What about that? It's like zero acknowledgement that Dyer actually clearly lied. Mm-hmm. This is a cult. It's an online cult.
They don't care. No, and dude, I seriously find this creepy. Like there are people who lie all over the place, but generally they have to be careful about it, or not make it obvious. And for two main reasons. One, hopefully they believe that lying is actually wrong. You would hope people believe that lying is actually wrong, so they don't just lie freely. But two, even if people don't think that lying is just wrong, you would hope that they'd be concerned about not getting a reputation as liars. You don't want to be known as a liar, so you don't want to be exposed. But it's with what you saw with the Dawa guys for years, is that they didn't care. They would just lie freely and openly like it's no problem. Why? They don't believe it's wrong to lie to non-Muslims, or even to lie to keep Muslims in Islam or to convert people to Islam. So they don't have any problem with lying. But in addition to that, there are no consequences for them in their community. If you're exposed as a liar, their fans just don't care. Their fans don't care that it's a lie either. So the fans don't have a problem with lying. So there are no consequences for being a liar, and therefore these guys just lie freely and openly without any concerns for any sort of repercussions. And so, but that was just like the Dawa guys. The Dawa guys were the ones who did that. Now you've got the orthobros, and they seem to be exactly the same. And it's just, isn't it interesting that they end up defending each other and promoting each other, the orthobros and the Dawa bros? But it's the same thing. An orthobro, especially the king of the orthobros, can tell 10 lies about you right now. You could expose all 10 lies, prove demonstrably that they are lies. The fans wouldn't care at all. They just don't care. It's all acceptable.
So here's one thing I would like to handle for a second. Sonny Cooley said, does AP consider Christian Zionists heretics? He seems to need to demonstrate he is anti-Christian Zionist to prove his standing with JD. No, I don't care about proving anything in order to be on good terms with J. Dyer. I am simply not a Christian Zionist, so it's simply a false and baseless claim. I think that within Orthodox Christianity, it would be problematic to be a Christian Zionist, and it would be at worst or at best, I can't decide right now, considered a theological error. That said, I do not find any basis to call it a heresy. In order to call it a heresy, the church, the Eastern Orthodox Church universally, would have to somehow come together and decide that it is a heresy based on some ecumenical council and so on. That never happened. So and there is nothing within it that I would consider that you could consider a definitive heresy. So I would say it is theologically flawed, and I would agree with that. But I wouldn't call it a heresy. I think that's a bit much. All right, let's continue with the lies.
Oh, hang on. Someone pointed out, I remember David pointing this out about the tater tots as well. Yeah, that's the other group, but fortunately they've massively faded from any sort of relevance. But yeah, the Andrew Tate crowd, like Andrew Tate could lie, like obviously, like I never said that, and it would be like you've got video of him saying it, or I never did that, and you've got video of him doing it. And all the fans, just whatever the latest lie was, would just go with the latest lie. And you could point it out, they did not care because he's top G. He's top G.
If you stop talking, I can finally take some super chats.
No one cares about you and your super chats, man.
People make big super chats.
But the people are...
KPTMRVL says, love you, AP, and bless you for all the work you're doing. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, and I appreciate the generous super chat and your support. Support this channel while you're here and all that. Thank you, everybody. God bless you. Snowman the Man just realized it's Surah. Okay, I already read this. Why is David hiding in a storage room? Who is he hiding from? Oh, hi, AP, said Steph. David, what are you hiding from?
It's not a storage room. You think if I got a ladder and a painting and a box, that this is a storage room?
Most likely it is, yeah.
Or is that ladder for screwing in the top shelves, and is that box for the painting that's about to go there?
You see?
Yeah. I mean, think about this. First, AP gets accused of being a heretic, and now I get accused of being in a storage room. Like, which one is worse? I'm not even going to say. But let's just say we've all been falsely accused today.
You see, that's the proof. Who is worse, Orthobros or the Zut? Orthobros.
Yeah, by far.
At least the Zut did something to Muhammad.
Positive.
So.
They gave Muhammad the strength of 30 men.
I was halfway considering if I'm going too far with the statement. Randy Bales gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much for expanding the boundaries of this cult. Thank you, Randy. Real Black Milker says, AP, stop working or your traps. What? Our your traps. Okay.
I think he means out your traps. Stop working out your traps.
Okay. Snowman the Man says, AP, I don't even know what traps is. What is traps referring to?
That's the muscle right here. Your traps.
Dude, the funny thing is I've always looked like this.
Like a dorky Turk?
I mean, I've expanded and worked out a little bit, but I've kind of always looked like, I think it's my bones. My bone structure makes me look stronger than I am or something. I don't know.
Well, you'd expect to be strong since you're part otter man.
Yeah. Snowman the Man, AP Mike Winger is just a charity organization. Buddy the Rabbit, Deus non alligatur sacramentis or Deus virtutem suam non alligavit sacramentis. Dyer is insufferable. Alhamdulillah. Chad Parsons, sorry, running a little bit behind. I had to listen to that intro again a few times. Nice. I should play it. I should make my intro 5 minutes and play that song over and over again. Cult Wraith, a round of takfirs on me. I'd excommunicate Jay, but he was never in communion to begin with. Nice. Riff Raff Barker just bought a shirt. Let's go. Nice. Well done. Thank you. Thank you.
So now there's 2 of those shirts out there.
Now there are quite a few shirts out there. I saw quite a few people ordered. So soon everyone is going to be wearing Apostate Prophet shirts.
People are right. You need to change it to Anathema Prophet.
That's true. Sergio says, why not settle this and challenge Jay to a Mubahala? I kind of did. Randy Bale, Sahih al-Mekmuta, 3069. The Prophet, peace be upon him, concerning marriage and consummation said, why go across town when you can go across the hall? What's wrong with you? Distracting Games. Isn't Jay Dyer Russian Orthodox? If he is, there's a decent argument he isn't Christian, as Russian Orthodox act predominantly as an extension of the Russian state and places itself out of communion with Christians. I think he's Russian Orthodox Church outside Russia, ROKOR, which is
ROKOR. Hardcore ROKOR.
Which is very, very much almost completely separated from the Moscow Patriarchate, but is still technically under the umbrella of the Moscow Patriarchate.
That's
they're good. Well, lots of people and good priests there. So
yeah, it's there might be a regular Orthodox Russian Orthodox Christian might be a super good Christian for all I know. Regular Russian Orthodox priest might be a great priest for all I know. The high up leaderships, those guys that's massively corrupt, dude. That is some sick, weird stuff. KGB operatives and stuff like that from the 70s and 80s, and they're running the church now, doing everything Putin wants, coming up with some seriously sick doctrines. I mean, Kirill just steps out and says he comes up with his Russian world doctrine, where Russia has to has divine right to control everything that is associated or affiliated or linguistically connected or anything to Russia. Just declares it. That's why you get to just invade Ukraine. They laid that out as a theological doctrine.
And guess what? He also believes that that Christians and what did he say? That Christians and Muslims have the same values or similar, very similar values.
Yep.
That Khamenei is a great friend.
Yep. That I forget if it was him or Putin, but they both went to this conference with Muslims, and they said that they're actually they're closer to Islam than they are to Western Christians and stuff like that. But I mean that the idea that the leader of your entire church would come out with a doctrine that is clearly designed just to go out and invade places that have any previous connection to it. So if you were ever connected to Russia, like when you were in the Soviet Union, or if you have Russian speakers or anything else, they get to invade and conquer you. And I mean, that is clearly made just because that's what that's what Putin wants to do. And then you push Christians towards that. And that's just some sick, wild stuff. This would be like, Spain declaring, hey, anyone who speaks Spanish, we get to invade and conquer them right now. You're like, what? Where are you getting that idea from? Pretty sick stuff, man. And then it
is the ideology of Putin and his party and his movement, which is Russian imperialism or irredentism or neo-imperialism, where they think everything that was taken, whether rightfully or unjustly, including by the Soviet Union, should be rightfully part of Russia today. That was also Putin's reasoning when he invaded Ukraine. It's kind of funny, people don't want to talk about it, but he literally said in his speech that Ukraine should have never become an independent country, that this was basically a favor, but also a mistake, because it is always supposed to be Russian land, because it's historically at some point was Russian land. It's a very, very sick ideology. And the fact that the church there has become not has become, but basically is an arm of that very same ideology, says a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Dumb person says, I would love to drop Dr. Didier and make him start crying. Nice.
Good luck with that.
Randy Bales, God bless you, AP, and Dr. Dizzle feed kicks wood. Anton Watt says, gifted 1 membership. Thank you so much for expanding the cult. We need more cult members here. El Shaddai One Only says, y'all bringing up Jay Dyer all the time. It's like you guys can't keep his name out of y'all's mouth. It's pathetic and embarrassment you're crying on here. That's exactly what's happening here. Distracting Caves. Jay Dyer also has me blocked on X for saying Eastern Orthodox is idolatrous for venerating icons. Well, I would say that you're out of line for saying that. Instead of giving me a biblically supported argument, he blocked me. So I would say that is very wrong of you to say, but I probably wouldn't block you. But Jay Dyer, of course, blocks anyone who disagrees with him.
Well, fortunately, Jay Dyer and I will be debating precisely that with AP watching at DebateCon in October.
Nice. Well, the good thing is I'm behind the scenes, like telling both sides what to say. So Bruce Wayne says, what?
No, this comment, Jay Dyer and Sam Shamoon act the same, and it's Malik acts the same, and a bunch of the Dawa guys act the same, and the Dawa bros, and it's like, are all these guys just under the same psychological pressures which are causing them to act the same, or are some people copying others as far as what works, or are there certain things that just allow people to do this online, and so people do it and it eventually happens because there are certain things that work online, or is the same demon controlling them?
This is a good point. I kind of missed and forgot to add, not in the Zut sense.
Mm-hmm.
So thank goodness you're alive, not in the Zut sense. Hi, Dr. Woodstein. Says Libel. He went after God Logic and the broad charismatic Norbit Church, Deliverance Church, Catherine Crick, and the Zoom exorcisms. You're full of it. You just do the Middle East intervention debate you ran from. Who is full of it? Is this what you think he just did? That's all he did? That's all he did? Or he just wants to debate these things This wasn't even why he brought God Logic up to begin with. His initial thing was just that God Logic is an enemy and a grifter. That's it. And then came the accusations about his church. He only found out later what kind of church God Logic goes to. So you're completely mixing up and making up the timeline just for convenience because you want to defend your guy.
Yeah, and by the way, the initial attack was Avery, who claims to not be interested in inter-Christian debates about denominations and stuff. He surreptitiously sent a bunch of people to go watch JP's live JP was criticizing Eastern Orthodoxy. And so what actually happened was, and here they didn't even know God Logic 2.0, that channel isn't God Logic, but here was the connection. Avery was ending his live stream, and this is just what people do when they're ending a live stream. If you see someone you know is also live, and you send you raid their live stream, send people over to their live stream. So Avery was ending his live stream. He sent his viewers over to God Logic 2.0, which is Life. That's Life's channel. And then Life, when he was ending his, what was doing some sort of prank and sending people to like joke about JP, but JP on his channel was criticizing Eastern Orthodoxy. So they said, see there, that's God Logic and his plot to attack Eastern Orthodoxy without people realizing it. And people pointed out, like, guys, are you serious? You think that's his plot? He sent his followers to another live stream, and then that live stream, when it was later ending, sent people over to JP's live stream. So people thought, I mean, not the Orthobros, ask the Orthobros. Yes, God Logic is guilty. You see, this is the proof. These guys constantly attack everyone in all directions. And if someone else does anything that, by multiple steps could be interpreted by a conspiracy nut as you attacking the Eastern Orthodox Church, you see, this is the proof. But it wasn't good enough for most people. Most people are like, seriously, that's what you're attacking them on? But they couldn't, Jay's a narcissist, so he couldn't just say, my bad. Instead, it had to be, no, he's a grifter. And then after calling him a grifter, he called him a grifter based on Avery not attacking other Christians. And since he doesn't attack other Christian groups, therefore, he's trying to spread the net as wide as possible for donations. And therefore, that makes him a grifter. And so they attacked him on that basis. And then all the church stuff that came about later. That's deciding you're going to attack someone for one reason, and then people sending you stuff, and then you come along later. So yeah, don't act like this was Avery being exposed by Jay Dyer's careful investigations.
You know what's funny? You might not know about this, but Rokor, the Russian church outside Russia, this is why I say that I can't definitively speak against them, because I know that there are lots of good people among them, lots of good people in good positions, lots of good priests, and I think that some of them make good efforts separating themselves from the Moscow Patriarchate and their actions. They just published this at the end of last month. I'm not going to read all of it because it's like 10 pages or something.
Can't read
10 pages. So Russian Orthodox Church outside Russia, mind you, this is the church that Jay Dyer is under as well. To all diocesan clergy, dear in the Lord, Reverend Fathers, social media is everywhere. We turn and has become pervasive in our lives. As clergy and persons in responsible church positions, we have higher levels of responsibility and a lower bar to measure our actions for appropriateness. In an effort to help put up some guardrails, the Eastern American Diocese is enacting a social media and digital conduct policy. The amount of spent online is already a problem for most, even under the guise of pastoral work. Orthodox clergy and laity should be encouraged to spend time in person rather than virtual communications, doing spiritual and physical good outside the virtual realm and away from their devices. Those who are ordained to the clergy, as well as those entrusted with positions of responsibility or trust within the diocese, bear a continuing obligation to conduct themselves in a manner consistent with the sacred calling they have received. This obligation is not suspended in digital or online spaces, where private expressions and public witness are often indistinguishable. We ask all of our clergy to become familiar with the concepts described in this policy and to take them to heart and to follow them. The policy is applicable to all diocesan clergy, priests and deacons, as well as those in the lesser orders and all lay employees and volunteers when acting on behalf of the diocese or its institutions. The policy is also appropriate for all parishioners and can be a useful tool in parish discussions, meaning everyone who goes to a church. A lengthy and challenging process was undertaken to develop this policy in a spiritual, pastoral tone, but we now believe it serves as a very wealthy basis to promote frank and useful discussions within our parishes and throughout the diocese with love in Christ. With love in Christ. I read the text. It is actually very, very good, and basically says that a lot of people, some from clergy, but many lay people, conduct themselves in very inappropriate ways online, and that they should abstain from doing so and should remember to act more Christ-like, even when they are online, even when they are anonymous. So this is the Russian Orthodox Church outside Russia that actually published this specifically for Russian Orthodox Christians in America. This is my issue. I can attack people like the Orthodox and Dyer and all that, but at least the church is, to some extent, not enough, I would say. Putting out something to tell these people, hey, stop conducting yourselves like little pigs.
Won't work, man. Won't work. People get a following. Rules don't apply. If you get an online orthobro community and you basically have your place by constantly lying, attacking in all directions, whining about everything, acting like Jay Dyer, and then all of a sudden they say, "Hey, stop acting like that. Stop acting Christ-like." Well, you're not giving that up, and your attitude would be, "Who are you to tell me? I'm the one bringing people into the church. I'm the one carrying out Putin's will for the world. You'll never stop me." And then Putin will step in there and say, "Hey, comrades, do not stop this man. Take down your letter or don't apply it to him."
Okay, let's continue with this. I want to continue, but there are too many super chats. Jedi seems to be as keen on God, on God logic as Sam. Weird. Yeah, they are.
I have to say, a lot of his stuff, a lot of Jay's stuff right now, right after he formed an alliance with Sam, an online alliance with Sam, a lot of his subsequent attacks on you and Avery sound like they were handed to him by Sam. I just have to point that out.
GV says, AP, I'm Jewish from the line of King David, and I asked other Christians online from around the world to pray that you come to Christ. Prayer works. I really, really appreciate that. Praise God. Ellie, new intro tune is Muzak, was perfect before. Come on, man.
I have to say, the other one is better, man. You're screwing it up by
Muzak. You just don't like new things. Uriel Markender, if you don't want all Jews removed, you're a Zionist. Chill. Dr. Woodstein Sheckelberger.
Good point.
Sheckelberger. And Ridvanstein. Exactly.
Get it right, it's Sheckelstein.
Wonderment. Some Christian apologists, gifted as they may be, are an easy target for spirits of envy and division. Something I'm picking up by watching Sam, Jay, and the Ortho Bros, praying they will rise above tribalism and focus on Christ. I hope so.
Yeah, here's what's weird.
Me too.
I spent the last 15 to 20 years working on doing my small part to make sure Dawa is controlled by absolute narcissists, getting rid of the old popular Dawa guys and replacing them with complete narcissists. Now, the original plan was replace them all with narcissists and psychopaths, because I think the result would be similar. For some reason, I literally have no clue what it is. It's always the narcissist that it works with. It doesn't work with the psychopath. I don't know why. I have no clue why. I would have been happy with an even mix of narcissists and psychopaths running the entire Dawa scene. It ended up being all narcissists, but that's totally fine. That still works. What you want is, narcissists will get along with each other temporarily as they're, rising in popularity. But once they really start getting popular, they want all the popularity for themselves. And so they'll all start attacking each other and they'll all start fighting. So that's how you destroy an entire position. Just get all the leaders replaced by narcissists, and the narcissist will start. You can sit back and watch and eat popcorn at that point. What sucks is now you've got it with the Orthobros and Sam and stuff like that. You're getting the same thing. Narcissists vying for attention, eventually want all the attention for themselves, and then start attacking in all directions. And Christians should know better than to support that nonsense.
Nice. Never knew there were fatwas in the Orthodox Church, or there are fatwas in the Orthodox Church. Definitely, that is called.
You should call it. Hey, next time Jay says it, you should point that out. You said, "Here's Jay Dyer's fatwa number 487."
All right, so let's come to the next thing here. I'm going to go into more detail here. So he says that I'm a Christian Zionist, and we have just proven with certainty that he knows that this is a lie, and he says it anyway. He lies about me.
Yep.
Issue number 2 is here. He says that I have not been received into the Orthodox Church because I wouldn't give up Zionism.
Mm-hmm.
This is entirely false.
Yes. No. Your priest took this to your bishop and said, we have told AP that he cannot support this Christian Zionism and be advocating this Christian Zionism in our church, but he refuses. And then they didn't like you anymore, man.
My priest, as far as I may talk about things that he said to me and that we talked about, I expressed to him very, very often that I am, when this discussion came up, that I am quite supportive of Israel. He knew this also very, very well, because I had a very good relationship with my priest.
So did Jay Dyer, and you explained your position, and he affirmed it, just like your priest was okay with it.
I talked to him about this very frequently, and my priest said, well, I also support Israel. I also do support the Palestinians, though.
You see, AP comes from a heretical church that will not receive him because he's even more heretical than they are.
And he said both sides need to do a better job in all that. I said, Father, I disagree with you there. I wouldn't say that that the two sides are in any way comparable. And I think that all of it should come under Israeli control, and it would be best for all Christians involved. But that was just the issue. He never had a problem with my support for Israel. He never did. I even sent him my debate that I had with Andrew Wilson, and he watched the debate, and he never had a problem with it. He even started getting email complaints by Orthobros sent to the church. And they would tell him, how can you allow this Zionist? I watch him all the time, and you know what he says? This is the funny thing. So my priest, he comes to me one day, and he says, Ridwan, people have a lot of complaints about you. People can't stop complaining about you for some reason. And this one person said to me that they watch you all the time and you say these things. And I said, can you just let it go and just, mind your own business? And the person sent another message and said, but I listen to him all the time and he just recently said this. And I said to that person, if you don't like him so much, why are you watching him all the time? And I thought, that was a funny thing to say.
But I can't stop. I can't stop. I'm addicted to watching him and I'm enraged the entire time.
So my priest was telling the Orthobro emailer, how about you just stop watching Apostate Prophet and you focus on your own salvation and your own issues? That is what his position was. My church had, in fact, for the most part, generally, Greek Orthodox churches, specifically, Greek Orthodox churches throughout the Western world have very little to nothing to say about Israel and generally have no problem with it at all. The Constantinople Patriarchate has no issues with Israel. It is very well known that the Patriarch Bartholomew of Constantinople visited and had very good relations with the leadership of Israel. They were totally fine with all of this. Why in the world would I be rejected from such an Orthodox church because of my support for Israel? That makes no sense. If they delayed wait, another point. The issue is also that he knows very well that what I pointed out was that my baptism was delayed. I want everyone to think about one thing here, man. Why in the world would my church continue keeping me and continue teaching me and delay my baptism if it was for heresy? Are you people insane? Can you people not sit down and think for 5 seconds? Do you guys think that this is what the church would do? Oh, you're not ready to be baptized because you're a heretic. You're not ready to be baptized yet because you believe in heresies. Is this really what you guys think? I mean, use your freaking minds for 1 second. At some point, I called Dyer intelligent. He is a retard. Did you think about what you said here for 1 second, Jay? Are you that stupid? Gosh.
You pointed out that Patriarch Bartholomew is on good terms. People like you with Israel.
Yes.
You know who he's not on good terms with?
Who?
You know who he's on really, really bad terms with?
Who?
Patriarch Kirill.
The funny
Patriarch
thing is that,
Kirill can't stand him, despises him.
oh yeah.
And isn't that interesting? So you got Patriarch Kirill, and then of course you got Rokor. Rokor, it's the Rokor, and they answer to the Russian Orthodox Church. And here's everyone attacking.
So, number one issue, if I was actually a Christian Zionist heretic, that wouldn't cause my church to just delay my baptism. If the issue was that I'm simply politically supporting Israel, which is in no way a theological problem, it would be ridiculous of you to think that this is why the church would delay my baptism. In both cases, this is not what the church would do. They would especially not say, oh, you're not ready to be baptized because you hold said political positions. This is complete nonsense. It's also made up. You know, I have made it a standard, even when I was an atheist, when I didn't yet adopt and internalize the Christian sense of morality that I'm trying to go by nowadays. Even then, did I never think it was appropriate of me to make demonstrably false claims about another person with such conviction if I didn't know them to be true? If I made claims about another person like this with such conviction, I would at first inform myself to see if what I'm saying about that other person is actually true. As a Christian, I definitely do not want to do that. And I honestly do not understand how a Christian can do this. Here, this guy is just blatantly lying. He has influence. He has people who actually follow him because he has a lot of stupid people following him. So he should at least find it within himself somewhere that it is not a right thing and not a Christian thing to do, to make false claims about another person in such a convicted way if he cannot know whether these things are true or not, and especially not make such claims if he knows that it is a lie. This guy doesn't care.
Quit being such a narcissist and thinking this is all about you. He's not just making stuff up and lying about you. It's also about your priest and your church. He's lying about everyone. He's lying about he's lying about AP, and he's lying about what the church is doing.
Yeah.
He's lying about everyone. And he sees no problem. He sees no problem. Why? Because he's mad at AP. And basic Christian ethics goes out the window for certain people as soon as you're mad at them.
The issue is that what did happen at my church that I used to go to, my priest was never against it. My priest said that he wanted to baptize me 3 months into coming into the church.
Yeah, that was too early.
And he maintained and kept saying that. And it is an unusual time for someone who goes into the Orthodox Church to be baptized that quickly. But he said he wanted to do it. But he didn't get the permission from his bishop to do it because they have to get permission from the bishop. Shut up, man.
No, I'm just saying. They should have asked me. They should have come to me like, hey, David, you think it's a good idea? I'd be like, where do I begin?
Where do I begin? So the bishop had his reasons. I cannot explain and do not want to explain fully why my baptism there got problematic. Because I believe, and I have firmly argued to my priest as well, who actually asked me to forgive my bishop, that the situation hasn't been treated very fairly. But to be honest, I was also not very easy to handle because I made the mistake of telling people or of showing people what kind of church, what church I go to. It wasn't very difficult to find out what church I actually am. So when I started having disagreements and fights with orthobros, it became a thing for them to immediately find the church and send emails to that church. So during my time at the church, the diocese, the bishop, received dozens, if not, according to my priest, hundreds or more letters and emails about me. This is how obsessed they are with me, apparently.
They're pretty obsessed.
Complaining about me. The fact that I posted about that nun, the Hamas supporting nun.
What'd you say?
Don't. The fact that I posted about her.
What'd you post? You posted something?
The fact that I posted about that nun and attacked her and depicted her as a devil and further insulted her in ways that I don't want to repeat.
Really? It can't be that bad. Come on.
Because she openly supported Hamas and Islamic terrorism. Yes, that's why. Because she supported Hamas and Islamic terrorism. And I concluded my message saying she could die with the Hamas terrorists for all I care. And to be honest, I stand by that sentiment. If she went over there and died with them together, I wouldn't shed a freaking tear for her. Because she's a Hamas-supporting, Islamist, terrorist-supporting person. Because of that, things got very, very complicated. But primarily, issues were also related to my bishop demanding of me that I become a little bit less active during my first months of catechism and less combative and argumentative online. And I don't think I've done a very good job in that.
So you definitely have not.
So baptism-related issues were related to this kind of stuff. It had nothing at all to do with Zionism. At no point. It had nothing to do with my relationship at any point. It had nothing to do with any of these things that these people have said. But they repeat these lies. And they know that they are lies. And if they hear now the truth about this, they will still continue with their lies. It's because they are liars.
Yes, they will.
Here is his other lie. He also ran off with another woman from Israel and left his wife. I recently sat down and talked about this, so I don't want to further explain anything about this at all. But this didn't happen. Yes, I did divorce, and I did so very, very rightfully. In fact, I should have done that many years ago. Running off with another woman from Israel. What are you talking about, man? This is completely made up.
That Jew woman from Israel.
And this is what Sam Shimoon started. This guy takes this from Sam Shimoon and repeats it as if it were true.
They're buddies now.
He knows that this is most likely. Here I can be a little bit charitable and say, okay, it might be that Dyer is just stupid. And he just takes Sam's word for it. And he just doesn't know. Which I have a hard time believing, considering that he apparently follows me the whole time and talks about me all the time. He should know that this is a complete lie. Ran off with another woman from... What the hell are you talking about, man?
And
this
then
is
you've
dumb
got
stuff that Sam Shimoon said. That's it.
And then you've got the entire Wood, AP, GodLogic, IP sphere are grifters. Who's grifters? All the people who are wrecking Dawa.
Yeah,
we could add more people to this. Anyone who's not an orthobro and who is going after Dawa and exposing Islam are all grifters.
So let's summarize this for a second. I'm a heretic by his standard, which is wrong on so many levels for him to say. This here is a lie. This here is a lie. So the second lie. This here is a lie. And this here certainly needs more context. One declaration that I'm a heretic for no reason at all, or because I disagreed with him, honestly, because I'm more popular than him, and that bothers him very much.
Orthobros just get
isn't
declare
that
heretics, man.
Isn't that it, Jay? Look, I never talk about this. I never talk about it, but everybody knows that you hate us because you're not popular, because nobody likes you, because nobody who talks to you once wants to, because nobody who invites you and talks to you once wants to invite you again.
Yep, because you're losing.
Because you're invited into the circles by one person, and nobody else then gets in touch and wants to also invite you. Because you suck, man. Because you're not popular. Because people don't actually like you, Jay.
Yeah, you're a liar.
Because people don't actually want to support you. Because people don't actually want to turn up for you, Jay.
Yeah, except
because
a bunch
other
of
people are
losers.
more popular to you, because that's why you dislike them, Jay.
Mhm.
You are pathetic, Jay.
Mhm. Jealous, envious.
You are
Envious dude.
absolutely pathetic, Jay.
That's why they call him Envious Jay.
And in all honesty, since you are so quick to say it, I cannot see how you can be called a Christian. Hey, there you go. I came closer and closer to Christianity looking at how Christians are and what the New Testament says. And I wanted to be that. You are the opposite of that, Jay. You are the opposite of that.
Yeah, opposite. And that's why J. Dyer, spelled backwards, is lying dork. And can you imagine? Can you imagine someone just looking at this dude and saying, "Oh, look, he's so powerful. He lies all the time. This makes me want to be a cool orthobro."
So you are hereby excommunicated, Jay. Oh, you know what's also funny?
If anyone is a lying dork like J. Dyer, let him be anathema.
It was also funny.
What?
Kudos to Jay
I
for
told you.
condemning
I told you.
And mentioning the fact that he has not become Eastern Orthodox due to his idolatrous lust for Israel, his God and Lord. I can tell you one thing. Sam also knows by now that this is absolutely false.
He absolutely does. That's the thing. Like, and this happens over and over again. Things where
so explain to me how Sam is a Christian at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone is watching. Sometimes people say false things, but they believe that they're true. They've been given wrong information, or they interpreted something wrongly, and so they're not deliberately lying. We know for a fact, 100%, Sam
100%.
and Jay flat out, knowingly, deliberately lie about us. They say things that they know are false in order to get other people mad at us. And they view themselves as completely justified because they both do the same thing. They decide who they're mad at based on their feelings, and then anything goes because they're mad. And again, basic Christian ethics goes out the window.
Basic Christian ethics. GV, we should all be sure to pray for Jay to come to the true saving faith in Jesus Christ. His name is going on the online prayer wall. I will pray for him, although I think...
Hey, you know, it'd be funny. They're talking about a wall there. You should write a little prayer about Jay and go to Jerusalem. Show the prayer to the camera and then stick it in the wall. Can you imagine how much he loses his mind? It'd be worth it. It'd be totally worth it.
Gentlemen, the church has always had those who did not belong among her pews. The one true church are all those secure in their own faith in the Lord Jesus Christ. Do not let these attacks against you darken your spirits. Alhamdulillah. Thank you, Zachary Duckett. Biscuit V says, "Zlo in Russian means evil. I wonder if there's a connection."
Yeah, he may be doing that deliberately. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm thinking about Russian. Zing, zling, zlo, zlovo.
Wait, you are making a point. In Russian, zlo does mean evil or harm as a noun. Huh. That is funny.
So, wait, so hang on. So that would be a dog whistle to Putin and co. Like, hey, I'm attacking him for Zionism, but I just want y'all to know it's for Mother Russia.
It is Zionist or evil. We don't want you. Hi, AP. I haven't really been following the drama, but a lot of people attack others to stay relevant. You keep being you. Thank you, D. I appreciate that. The issue is that I don't necessarily want to respond to everyone or, engage in drama the entire time. But I think that people like this need to be taken down.
Yeah. No, that's the point. The point is not, they said something mean about AP. You're right now, you're revealing something about the leader of the Orthobros, so that hopefully some Orthobros who might not realize what they've signed on for will realize it. Anyone with an actual functioning moral compass will see the problem here and realize these guys do not represent Christ here. and so that people who don't know about the Orthobros or outside the Orthobros will understand what these guys are. And so, yeah, you got to do it.
Orthobros. That is the entire thing. I want to do my part in taking these people down, because I've had enough. I see all of the dirt, and I think it is just ridiculously bad to see how many people are influenced by these evil people, and I think that is harmful. If I'm working against Islam because I think Islam is a great evil that spreads its evils, and I want to fight against that, then naturally I will also think, if I consider people like these guys to be evil and to spread evil, I will also want to fight against these guys. I don't want them to spread their evils any further. I want some people to grow a pair and do something about these guys, denounce them, and warn others not to listen to these guys anymore. It's not only Islam that is evil, there's also these guys who are evil. And I want to do something about it. That's it. Brother JT, the problem is replacement theology. I can explain. You're an Orthodox, you're a Catholic monk, aren't you, Brother JT? I would be interested in talking about this with you. Thank you for that. Jake Butts, well, AP, you got ejected from Orthodoxy among US style. Time to come to Protestantism, bro. LOL. God bless you, AP and Dave Root. Exactly. Christian Arab, the last 5%. Bottom line, God logic is gifted, smart, young, and black, and people are losing their minds over it. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Although it kind of sounds gay when I say that's right, but still. Antonio Guez J, I verbally abuse everyone who disagrees with me, but I'm the only real Christian. The Bible, you will know them by their fruits.
Mm-hmm.
Godworth, non-denominational, charismatic, anti-Calvinist, preliminary, pre-trip, dispensational, anti-Sethite, Christian Zionism is the one true church. Okay. Rick Newton, as a Tim Hortonist, I do not know what to think. That was absolutely terrible. You should be ashamed of yourself. I'm banning it permanently. I'm a conservative boomer. Says Canada needs saving from our liberal government. Canada does. This is the funny thing. I was thinking about this. Like, I would say for almost every single Western nation that is around today, that I support them over others in their right to exist and defend themselves. I just don't know if I can also say that for Australia. Libel says, I base Muslims on the sons I raised, and I can say that none of them are fit to even pass a glass of water to my sons. Muslims are lost. I haven't played my soundboard in a while, but
it is totally based.
There you go. Jack Ray, running org haters, failed content creators, test with Malik, Samishmoon, J. Dyer, results, test, run, 3, failures, 3, errors, 3, skipped, 0. Nice. The mule, wait, aren't we called spiritual Jews in the New Testament? What's wrong with being a Jew? Dude, you're opening a whole can of worms here.
So now AP is calling Jews worms?
High five expert. Jesus himself corrected John when he complained about a man driving out spirits in Jesus' name because the man was not in their group. Jesus corrected John and told him, whoever is not against us is for us. Ask Jay about this. David, what do you say about this? What do you have to say for yourself?
Jay would say, whoever is not against us is for us. And Jay would say, but they are against us because they're not the true church.
You see. Robert DeMichael, Jeremy Boring did a very good live stream with a few other guests. They discussed Russia's influence on the Russian Orthodox Church as well as Tucker Carlson. You gotta check that out.
Oh yeah, where's that? Where's that?
Plus, why would I watch a channel that's literally called Boring? So,
yeah, it's stupid to name yourself Boring and name your show Boring and stuff like that. But I'd be interested in watching that, no matter how boring it is.
Me too. It is probably on Jeremy Boring's channel, so that's probably where you find it. Hey, did you see the fight between Tommy Robinson and or the fighting between Tommy Robinson and Mohammed Hijab recently?
No, I saw Hijab crashing out and flipping out. You're all weak, and we're gonna subjugate you all. Get out of the country if you don't like it. And
all you racists.
Yeah, that's all I saw. I didn't see anything between him and Tommy. I don't think, unless I missed it.
They were having a back and forth, and I should have pulled this up before this live stream because it was kind of funny to follow. But so Mohammed Hijab posted about the far right and the racists and how they're all scared of him. And Tommy Robinson responded to him by actually posting a meme with hotel wives.
Funny.
So here.
Oh, I did see that. I saw that. I remember that picture. I haven't been following the back and forth, but I saw that picture at some point.
Let's see where the back and forth goes. So here's Roshan M. Saleh. He responds to Tommy Robinson's recent acknowledgement that the woman at Oxford did not threaten him. Roshan Saleh says, I have never seen Tommy praise Muslims as much as the student leaders of the Oxford Union. Anyway, he confirms here what I said. He was not threatened. Will his hooligan fans now apologize to me? Tommy says, shut up, you mug. Calling all the people who follow me hooligans was part of the problem in the first place. You lot literally sit down with goose-stepping pricks for a loving on a ship podcast because you all hate the Jews. Islamism and Nazism are opposite sides of the same coin.
Hey, aren't like British insults funny? It's like, you mug.
Hilarious. They're hilarious. Mohammed Hijab responded to this by, shut up, you.
Shut up!
Shut up, you P-word. We saw how you were shaking in the airport against the guy, and so on and so on. It's kind of funny. You are nothing conversationally or physically. You yield to me and the Muslims, and if me and you had agreed something physical, I would make you my slave. And you would be begging me whilst your wife and son watches the humiliation.
He has like humiliation fetishes, man. He's a freaking pervert, man.
He does. To which Tommy Robinson responded just with this.
And he's got the bottle of alcohol like you did on the beach.
It's funny how he doesn't even engage and just posts this as a response. Looks like I'm having a good time in that picture, just like your ex had a good time with the Pakistani man who she cheated on you with. We all know why you hate Muslims. And Tommy doesn't respond.
Wait, can you go back down? I thought that's what I saw. I wasn't sure because I only glanced at it when you're scrolling up. Oh man.
Oh man. I think they had some more interactions here and there, but this was basically the gist of it. And then Mohammed Hijab did the usual thing. After posting about far-right racists and how much he would humiliate them and enslave them and whip them and all that, he posted, the racists on here have stopped being interesting. I am taking a break until the standard improves. That's what he always does. He starts losing it.
Look at that.
Saying all kinds of unhinged things. And then he's like, okay, I'm taking a break.
Look at that. Look at the comments versus the likes, man.
I know. But every time it's like, it's not my fault, it's somebody else's fault, but I'm taking a break now. It is crazy. Islam isn't the race. Try harder. Educate yourself. The only racism I see from you is from you. You are anti-white, anti-non-believer racist. I shouted angry shit at people a lot yesterday, and I've realized I look like a mental case now. I'm taking a break until my emotional retardation improves. Fixed it, Mo. So, that's very interesting stuff. Very, 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 very interesting stuff. And this guy posted this, completely unrelated. Muslims on the internet. Muslims on the battlefield.
You can say the same. You can say something similar about orthobros, man.
Timothy Freeman just realized David Wood sounds like early Homer Simpson. He does. Yeah.
Early Homer Simpson. He sounded like Walter Matthau. Like, hey, boy, Mark, get over here. And then he got higher and higher as it went on and funnier and funnier.
Higher and higher.
That actually started. I remember I was young, but that's The Simpsons started as a skit on the Tracy Ullman show. It would just be like a little 30-second skit periodically on that show. And then it became so popular that they gave him a show. No, they gave him a special first, like a Christmas special or something like that. Then they gave him their own show.
Biscuit TV says, Jedi is a liar and an accuser. We also know who is a liar and the accuser. And that was kind of my point earlier, which is that is also another thing, which is that you would learn at least, right, that you don't want to engage in one of the primary things that is attributed to the devil himself. And
yes. Yeah, you wouldn't want to be like, oh, here are the things that Satan is most famous for. Let me take this as my pattern of conduct.
Yeah. That is pretty insane, man. It's pretty insane behavior. J. Dyer is openly lying about AP. Who is the father of lies? Who is J. Dyer's daddy? Satan. What your daddy done? What did your daddy done? Isa Kabir, I support you, brother AP. Always great to see Dr. Dizzle. Props up to the chat. What's up, Isa? Isa. Muse Nor, you suck. We suck. We all suck. AP, that's why I have to support with my jizya. I'm a robot that's programmed to say perfect and another perfect.
Okay,
that's very funny. Perfect. Okay, perfect. Speaking of, what are you doing? What are you Christians doing? What are you doing? You make me sick. I make me sick. We should all be sick. People are dying. I'm getting bombed. What's wrong with you? There's a link in the description. Click the link. Donate now. You have micro penis. Anyway. That was Mohammed Hijab.
That was pretty good promo.
Yeah. So support the channel, guys. AC says the dispensationalist Chiliasm. How do you say this word, David? I can't speak English.
I don't know. I've never heard it pronounced.
Chiliasm, and it's defined by council as heresy. The dual covenant versions are heresy. Supporting heretical groups is off limits. Your secular position is separate for debate. Okay, what does it have to do with me? Uriel Markander says, at least you weren't accused of being a heretic in a storage room. God bless you both. Keep fighting and keep putting God first. Yeshua Akbar. Alhamdulillah. Pray for PayPal, everybody. Pray for PayPal. Pray for PayPal. Pray for PayPal and the orbs. Zuthausen, which would be a better movie? A movie about David Wood, movie starring Mike Winger, or a movie about Mike Winger, movie starring David Wood? What the hell? Why did you put the word movie? A movie about David Wood movie. What? Yeah, I would say the latter would be best. Emil Bashir, Daily Wire, are you still debating Orthobros? I'm Protestant, ex-Orthodox. I can help you prepare for the topic of the true church and recommended books. Okay, we skipped this one. Sivako says, in your opinion, aside from Islam, is Russia or China the bigger threat ideologically speaking? I mean, as a dummy, I would say Russia is the bigger problem.
I'd say a close call.
Because the thing that Russia does is Russia actually has, at the core of the idea, they also have the idea that they are supposed to expand and establish Russian dominance over the world and the Western world, to be specific.
They don't know Kung Fu, though.
Whereas China has
Kung Fu.
Has a more isolated, relatively more isolated ideology, which is all about China. It is for China and over China.
They also still have communism. And true. They know Kung Fu.
That's true. Russia is more explicitly expansionist.
Check their economy.
Yes.
Russia's not so good.
Rufker, thank you. Put your feet away, David. This isn't OF, says Rufker. Cars in Dimension. Thanks to the Russian Orthodox, Jews settled Palestine and helped make America great again. Based. I mean, Russia helped the Jews, right? Randy Bales, we gifted 1 membership. Thank you so much for expanding our cults. Yanis Bill says, I was an inquirer of the Orthodox Church for about a year. Been to the nearest church about 20 times. I became disgusted moments. The Orthodox like Jay were anti-Israel, saying anti-Semitic talking points. Well, the thing is, I haven't encountered much of it in real life at all. In real life, it is online. So that's the
No,
thing.
I went to your church that one time, and they're like, "What are you, a Jew? Get out of here, Jew boy!"
There's a bunch of study on the prevalence of NPD in clergy. Giving social media is basically the new church. There you go.
Yep, narcissistic personality disorder.
There is a study on the prevalence of narcissistic personality disorder in clergy. Have you heard of that? I haven't. I didn't. It's news to me. I should check it out.
No, and that's, I mean, it would make perfect sense, right? Narcissists are good at like getting attention for themselves. They want attention. They figure out how to get attention, and that can come in handy.
Emil Bashir says TikTok time to rock is way cooler. Then I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. AP's intro is lame. You're permanently banned.
I'm telling the truth. I mean, you're criticizing Jay for being a liar, and yet you condemn this person for speaking the truth. Sending mixed messages, man. Can't lie, can't tell the truth. Doesn't matter.
Okay, banned and comment deleted. Charismatic LCD churches are a black hole in Christianity targeted by atheists and Dyer. Yeah, cool. And I'm sure you're doing a fantastic job targeting Islam. Keep being obsessed with Jews while the Muslim comes and takes away your home. Orthobros JP, I just can't.
Dude, like, I mean, seriously, like, I've said it a million times, like, you would expect the Eastern Orthodox to understand the significance of attacking in all directions over every issue that pops up and dividing up the church when there are people just waiting to eat you alive. And you're like, no, you're anathema, you're anathema, no, you're anathema, but you're anathema, you're anathema. And you got a freaking army of jihadis marching at you.
Well, there's something called the Dhimmi syndrome. I think they're suffering from Dhimmi syndrome. Have you heard of that? Pixel Haze says, made a super sticker. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Zuthausen, do you think Islam naturally attracts narcissists? I think Islam teaches narcissism and probably also does attract it. Micah Sherry, Daily Wire fell off his desk. That's why he's on the floor. This is true.
I fell. And then my desk flipped over like that because AP stood on it and it fell over.
You see.
And then I went to sit at my desk, but it wasn't there, and then I fell down.
AP's intro music is goated. Thank you. Finally, somebody speaks the truth. This and nothing else is true. Renew says, here are my shekels disguised as euros to enrage Jay and help Ridvan liberate Constantinople. The day is coming. The day is coming very soon. Have patience. The day is coming soon. But thank you for your support. I will put this toward the funds of conquering Constantinople again. And I'm not giving it to any church. I'm taking it for myself. Suthausen, AP thoughts on Laura Loomer. She was Putin shilling for years. She recently stopped her support of Russia. She isn't much better than Katalson, in my opinion. I think I can say a lot of good things about Laura Loomer. She is, in many ways, excellent in that she actually has a successful record of very significant scoops and very significant information that other people don't have access to, that she digs and digs through and finds and exposes. She has influence in actually bringing people that need to be deported, especially in the Islamist realms, bringing attention or bringing it to the attention of significant people in the US government. And she has been very, very solid in her stances, by which I mean she agrees with me. I found her Russia and her support, her direct or indirect support for Russia, very bad and problematic. But then again, when the whole war started, when the invasion of Ukraine happened, a lot of people started doing that, and it was kind of like picking one of two sides, and picking the side that seems to be more in line with the Republican or right-wing position. I think
I
it's a
would
legitimate state to do that.
I would always just pick like basically whoever Russia is going against, because I would almost always trust whoever they're going against more than Russia.
I don't know Laura Loomer personally, so I don't know what she's motivated by in her recent turn and her support for Zelensky and Ukraine. And honestly, no, let me clarify that. In her support for Ukraine, she's still critical of Zelensky, and she also quite pushed him when she interviewed him. But she has apologized for supporting pro-Russia and pro-Putin talking points and has turned. And I like it, but I don't really know what motivates her, so I can't really say much about it. I don't know. Jim Burns says you must remove Islam from Israel. You do not know. The original observation of science is an observation of physics, the physics of the function of the human organism. Remove Islam from Israel. Okay. AC, you're not a heretic. He should retract and apologize. Thank you. Now, can we have the paleocon versus interventionist debate half of this is about? No, we can't. Because it has nothing to do with the topic. Also has nothing to do with the topic of Jay Dyer. Has nothing to do with why Jay Dyer is talking about this stuff. But thank you for acknowledging that he actually lied. Thank you for that. Veiled Warrior. David, please look into the Eastern Orthodox Church in Moscow having an icon of Stalin that is venerated.
What the heck?
Now look it up. It's not. It's taken out of context. Sahandip Kabak, here's a support for your online combativeness. Keep the pressure up. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Intellectual Iconoclasm says, hey Jay, who blessed off on your teaching and speaking authoritatively on matter for the clergy to address way back in 2016? I'm really curious about that too. Mexidocs, what's ironic is that the same individuals who claim to detest liberals are the very ones engaging in liberal activities, doxing and spam emailing parishes just to quiet someone. Comedic. I know, I find that very, very incredible. I couldn't go to church. I specifically, once I didn't want to share anything about where I go anymore. I didn't want to mention that I'm going to an Orthodox church anymore because of how people act. It's ridiculous, man.
No, they're narcissistic control freaks, and harassment is one of their tactics.
The funniest thing is,
you harass people to get them under your control.
The funniest thing is, and I know this is going to sound a little bit like I am accusing, take it as you will. The Orthobros are vastly people who who with anger and spite converted from American Protestantism to Orthodox Christianity. And they have come into Orthodox Christianity and established this thing in their heads that they know what the actual faith is, and that they know better than the priests and the clergy and the deacons and everyone. They have established this whole weird online cult of, hey, we just converted to Orthodoxy and we know what the faith actually is, and all of you guys are not doing it right. So they will actually find it. It's so funny to me, man. It's an established thing in the church that you are supposed to listen to your priest, listen to your spiritual father, and follow his guidance and all that. If you have questions, you're not supposed to listen to online guys. You're supposed to listen to your own priest first and discuss things with him. With the Orthobros, they will actively email your priest and send letters to him, rebuking him, and trying to correct him. So they want Orthodox people to not listen to their own priests. They want Orthodox people to listen to them instead, to the Orthobros. Now, how in the world is that in any way traditional Orthodoxy? This is a cult. It's an online cult.
Total
And I
cult.
think shame on those who reject or who refuse to call them out. Matt House Meek. AP, would you consider doing a staged debate with IP? You defending Islam and IP attacking. You guys could walk through tactics, thought processes, and Muslim escape routes, breaking fourth wall to explain. Possible. Possible. See, they're asking me and IP, not David and IP. You see? Nobody wants to watch David anymore. Jack
They want
Gray.
Dizzle up. They want Dizzle up chopped liver.
Jack Gray. AP should get an Orthobro Tears mug. I should.
That's true.
It would be funny if I do.
Orthobro tears.
It's very funny if I do that.
J. Dyer
Sam.
tears.
I made it in time to send a super chat. Thank you, Sam, for doing that. Keep up the great work, both of you. Your moral clarity and thoughtful responses to things in general is a breath of fresh air. God bless you. I appreciated that very much, although it does sound a little bit misplaced and like a mockery that you say that you praise my thoughtful responses.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with any thoughtful responses from AP. But hey, Sam, to distinguish you from other Sams, we're going to call you Good Sam.
I'm going to call you Marmaduke. Thank you, Marmaduke. I appreciate that very, very much. Thank you for your generosity and your wonderful words. God bless you. Zuthausen. Mujab will not fight or challenge anyone who he doesn't have a huge advantage over. Just remembered the 53-year-old Israeli MMA fighter.
Yeah, that was funny. He challenged the idea, bring forth your champion, actual MMA fighter, but he's old, right? Jiu-jitsu guy said, I'll do it. And then they go back and forth. They try to set up the fight. The dude eventually says, you guys are a freaking joke. And then they say, you see, he's running. But what happened? They tried to tell him which moves he's not allowed to use. Like he's known for his heel locks and stuff like that. They said, well, Muhammad Hijab is in his experience as you, so you have to agree not to use heel locks. And they're like saying which moves he can use. And it's like, dude, Hijab is like twice the dude's size, like a foot taller, way younger, massively stronger. It's understood. Yes, the guy has more experience and more knowledge. That's what would make it. That's what would offset Muhammad Hijab's other advantages. And they tried to take it away. So hey, you have to agree you're not going to use all these moves, and that's just pathetic, man. You imagine going into challenging everyone to an MMA fight, and they start telling you that you're not allowed to use your signature moves and stuff. Anyway,
that would be funny. That's
coward.
Crazy,
Total
man.
Coward.
That's crazy.
Not a
Tyrone
confident.
McGregor. Jay lose debate to a Catholic and AP get excommunicated. Jay quits debates every week just to come back, lose one, and go a warpath. It is kind of funny the way he actually does his debates. Come debate. You disagree, come debate. And then you join him on his Twitter spaces and he just kicks you out after 5 seconds if he doesn't like something you say. Body the Rabbit. I'm getting bombed is my favorite part. And I included that because Hijab was in his rant. Somehow he started putting in, and we are getting oppressed. They were getting massacred and oppressed, and you are just watching Pornhub.
He knows his fans pretty well, though.
Yeah, he does. And he also went and checked all of the penis sizes. Rubicon, my neighbor's second cousin was killed in Ukraine. J. Dyer is a murderer. Yeah. Stilgar, as a Jewish Eastern Orthodox catechumen, just wanted to say I appreciate you both. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. All the best to you, and God bless you on your path. Tyrone McGregor, China is a worse threat, but Russia is more immediate.
That sentence would be that sentence would be my call, right? Like right now, Russia, long-term China.
China is planning long ahead with their colonial projects and getting the West to use them for business deals and large trade deals. Intrigue is their forte. Yeah. And there is always a looming Taiwan thing going on, which is
a Laura looming.
Which is always which There's great anxiety about it. Like once they make moves, it could start a major regional conflict and all that. So, and they're kind of teasing the West with it all the time. Cult worries. Irenaeus thought Heliasm is against heresies a lot. I guess he was a heretic. Taught Heliasm. Okay. Cousin, unrelated, but found out my wife had an affair and might have borderline personality disorder. We're trying psychiatric help, reconciling. More importantly, I'm hoping that she'll give her life to Christ. Please spare a prayer later if you have a chance. I wish you all the best, and I pray that God is with you in all this.
There's a better track record for treating borderline personality disorder than there is for like antisocial personality disorder and other things.
That is true. Although it is kind of like compared to, I think it's it's like for women more common compared to men having antisocial personality disorder, right? That's how it was, as far as I remember.
Yeah, far more men have antisocial personality disorder than women do.
Yeah.
And I think
And
yeah,
more
borderline.
women
Yeah, that's why
have
Sam.
borderline. Yeah.
That's why Sam has.
And it's a difficult
Emily.
thing to deal with, especially
Emily.
for people in their lives. So I pray that you have all the help that you need. CJSTV. Mo was a bad guy. People called him the ear for telling stories he received. If people called him the ear for receiving stories, he can be called the asshole for receiving from the Zut.
It's not completely appropriate, but it's a fair point. It's a fair point, but
you actually had to write it all down to establish your reasoning. And it is a good point, to be fair. So. AC, I oppose Islam, saying what about Islam when pointing out the problem of Protestant liberal decay, allowing it to spread, then dodge and strawmanning me on Jews. I didn't mention LOL full of it. I'm not talking about you specifically, dude. But you are here jumping into it in defense of Jay Dyer. The entire discussion started out because Jay Dyer
you whine like Jay Dyer.
Because Jay Dyer comes and starts talking about Zionism, calling somebody a Christian Zionist while they are doing a job opposing Islam. What kind of purpose does that serve, man? Honestly, what kind of purpose does this? I'm not hugely into conspiracy theories, right? But that just makes me think, okay, so you have one guy here who effectively attacks, who effectively tackles Islam, effectively makes Muslims afraid in their efforts to spread Islam, effectively leads people out of Islam. So you catch him actively engaged with Muslims for the truth, for Christ, right? And you go in there and you distract by bringing up you are actually a Zionist heretic. What exactly are you doing? It brings to my mind the idea that maybe you guys are being funded, maybe you guys are being, even unknowingly, I would grant that, unknowingly falling for dumb strategies by certain state interests to distract us all from the main enemy and make us discuss about these random things of Zionism. You want to distract people in their struggle against Islam by talking about denominational issues and about Zionism. That's what you do. Talk to God Logic. Say, hey, I want to really have a conversation with you about theology, about your ideas, about your church practices, about this, about that. Jumping up there when the guy's fighting Islam and they're saying, oh, you're a heretic. What are you acting like exactly? To whose benefit is this in any way? You're just throwing in shit when somebody is actually doing
but it makes
good
us
work
it makes
on
us
behalf
feel
of
good.
Christianity.
It makes us feel important.
You're doing stuff that could easily be interpreted as just evil behavior in order to stop Christian efforts. That's what you're doing. That is the point. Yes, you yourself may not be doing this, but that is what you're defending right now, because that's what the discussion is about. If you're not aware, please go back to it and inform yourself about it.
Mm-hmm.
Please.
Mm-hmm. So, little side note. Jay, Andrew Wilson, they would say the exact same thing. We oppose Islam, and then they'll still go
Yeah,
after
sure you do.
they'll still go after everyone who's wrecking it and try to derail them. Isn't that weird? It's weird.
Yeah.
I find that weird.
It's like you're at the moment waging a war against the Islamists, and these guys, while you're in the battlefield, they come to you and are like, "Hey, wait a minute, let's discuss Zionism, you heretic! Hey, you heretic, look at me! Zionism, heretic, heretic, heretic!"
And
at some
again,
point, I start to think that you are the enemy. You know.
Again, the Orthodox Church been through this. Yet, I don't know if they're just incapable of learning the lesson. I'm obviously not talking about everyone in the Orthodox Church, because I think vast majority of people in the Orthodox Church would be cheering on anyone who's wrecking Islam and so on. But the Orthobros specifically, those guys didn't learn anything. And it's probably because most of them have no connection to actual history. They're a bunch of freaking dorks going, how can I become more masculine? Oh, by mindlessly going along with anything Jay Dyer says? Oh, okay, I'll do that. That's what masculine is. Now I'm masculine.
Ridiculous, man. Elysius says, in your opinion, have secularist progressives lost the debate on morality? The relativism and subjective morality arguments fall flat on their face. Yeah, I think they've lost it a long time ago. What do you think, David?
Yep. It all imploded.
No name. You're a Turkish spy. It will never be a real American. This is
True.
fact.
Mhm.
Fact.
Automatic.
One way made a super chat. Thank you so much. Emma Perk. BF was raised Baptist. I know, bad. It
Okay.
also had a problem with Jawus, but he understands that Islam is a danger and would side with Israel to rid of it. Nice. Wait, so we have acknowledged altogether now that Baptists are bad? Or what?
Baptists are awesome, man. Baptists are holding it down, man.
I'm kind of confused by it, but I appreciate that. JPEL. Finding
JPEL.
Nina. Thank you, Finding Nina. One way, thank you for what you are doing, guys. Please sign and share to help Ukrainian refugees. It takes only 1 minute and costs zero, but can help many families. Alhamdulillah. Steve McDonald, Orthobros are more worried with right-wing politics than Christ. Facts. Grumpy Granny, I just recommunicate you. Welcome back. Hey, thank you, man. Dude, we just spent 2 hours
Finally.
talking about this for no
Yeah.
reason. Thank you. Thank you. Zuthausen, China is a more direct threat to JPSK Taiwan, Japan, South Korea, Taiwan. Indeed. Must be bad for them. Sunny Cooley, what? Christians is made up for attacks. Christian Z. God does what he pleases and needs no one's help, including Christians. We read his word and watch what unfolds. I think you mean Christian Zionism, I assume. I don't know. And Nicola Sean says, Sam and Libiano farting contest. Who wins? It's a tough one, man. And I don't want to be there. So
Tie.
yeah. Tyrone McGregor, according to Newton's law of motion, Aisha had the strength of 30 men after the night of Al-Zut. Is that how she destroyed pages of the word of Allah? Yeah, possibly. That makes sense. Ryan Kim, wow, me smart also, bro. Whoa. Stop being mean to Daddy Dyer. Whoa. Here's some money because I hate you so much. Whoa.
It's all good points. Pretty spot on impression of the Orthobro, though.
It is. Deborah Linelli, the hatred of Jews seems to supersede everything. Diabolical. All right. I want to say a few more positive things in actuality. Since
About Jay Dyer. Mm-hmm.
I mean, even with Jay, I will pray for the guy, and I do. And I sometimes don't know how to deal with this because I feel like I'm saying something that I'm supposed to be doing as a Christian, and then I feel bad for saying it because it's like I start questioning myself and thinking, it sounds like I'm saying this to appear holy for doing something that I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm not sure. I still have to get used to that whole spirit. I don't know how to say things or to encourage things that we should be doing without becoming all too self-conscious and thinking, oh, am I just bragging now? It's a very difficult thing. Somebody please give me some advice on that. David doesn't understand because he's a psychopath. So I have to get advice from other people on this. But I don't hate the guy, Dyer. I just think that he has gone very far off the rails. And I find it very, very difficult to find anything Christian in what he does. And the thing is, I've also had interactions with him where I thought, okay, this guy's genuine. I don't know what leads him to be this disturbed. He's a very conspiracy-minded guy. He can draw lines and make connections when there are none. And maybe he can somehow come to the idea that I am somehow secretly a Christian Zionist who also ran off with an Israeli woman, which is why I was rejected from the Orthodox Church or something like that, all of which is completely wrong. Maybe he comes to dumb conclusions because he's crazy. I don't really understand. I don't know. But at some point, it becomes very, very difficult to tolerate somebody who so openly lies about another person. So all I can ask is to talk to the guy and to pray for the guy. Why does AP not ask the giant narcissist Jai? Oh yeah, I could ask him on how to not be like him. That's a good point. I want to say I'm not a big fan of the infighting, of refighting and responding to other Christians, not just Orthodox Christians, to other Christians, to anyone who believes in Christianity, who believes in Jesus as our God, right? In the Holy Trinity. However, I just can't help but respond to people like this because I think that it can't continue like this. It needs to be taken down and stopped. But maybe there are some people among those who follow this kind of toxic, venomous behavior that some of us can appeal to and pray for and talk to and say maybe we shouldn't be doing this whole thing of fighting with each other and condemning each other. Maybe we can start helping each other and being good to each other. I need help. I need help being a better Christian. I need help doing a better job at being a good Christian, right? Wouldn't it be very, very nice if you, somebody who's hostile to me out there, if you actually think I'm not doing a good job being a Christian, wouldn't it be nice for you to step in and to help me be a better Christian? But actually do that. Actually come to me. If you're going to comment at me, right? Tell me how I can be a better Christian. Tell me how I can be a better person. We can do that to each other. What's the point in this whole disgusting behavior that's going on online all the time? Who needs that? I would say it feels increasingly more comfortable for me to say this stuff. At first it felt more awkward because I just came out of 10 years of atheism. But maybe it's better to put God first, to put Christ first, to try and be more like what you get when you read the scripture, the New Testament. Try to be more like that and maybe help me be a better Christian. Don't attack me. Help me be a better Christian. Help others be a better Christian. Pray for those that you have great disagreements with. I pray for all of you who hate me and all of you who love me. And I don't want to fight with any of you. I don't even want to fight with Sam Shamoon. And he's a soulless bastard, but I still don't want to fight with him. Anyway, these were some of the gay words I wanted to say quickly. David, anything else?
Oh yeah, just you got the perfect orthobro over here. You just made it up is his channel. And he's whining about me going, he stated Andrew Wilson and Jay Dyer are working with the Russians. He stated that multiple times, yet had zero evidence when Andrew confronted him in the debate. Well, if you actually watch that, you know you're being deceptive here. Because I told Andrew, if Jay Dyer gets to say, Avery isn't attacking other churches, therefore he's a grifter, and you could just say things like that, then I can say, okay, you guys are doing the exact things that Russia says they want done, therefore you're working for Russia. What happens? When someone says it about you, you suddenly, where's the proof? We demand proof for these kinds of claims. When one of your guys says it, suddenly they can make things up. That's the point of this show. How upset are you that Jay repeatedly flat out lied about AP? Not at all. If AP right here told multiple lies about Jay, how much of a problem would you have? You'd be whining about it months down the road. You'd still be whining and saying this proves that AP is evil. Why is it? That's a cult. When the leaders are allowed to do things that if anyone else did them, you would instantly know that they're wrong, but you are not allowed to. You are psychologically programmed, psychologically conditioned to never so much as question. You're in a freaking cult. And you're too stupid and brainwashed to realize it. Anyway, if we can't help you, we can't help you, dude.
Dude, stop accusing people of being in a cult, man. We are literally a cult.
So I know you are.
Anyway, Buddy the Rabbit says, pray for us, Patreon Saint J. Paul of Moscow. Bingo. Jack Ray, Rules of Dyer 487. Berate your viewers for only giving you $2 super chats.
Good number.
That is the funniest thing to me. You call people grifters, and there's a whole compilation of him complaining about donations, which is very, very crazy to me. Why are you not donating more? Why are you not doing this? I'm going to stop screaming because you guys don't donate enough. Anyway, Josiah Mirvam says, too many content creators and their fans are too terminally online and consuming slop. Some spend too much time being keyboard warriors. Indeed. Be better. Let's all be better. You make me sick. I make me sick. We should all be sick together. Eunuch Petsu, yes, it's a marathon run toward our Lord Jesus Christ. Indeed. Indeed. All right. Anything else, David?
No.
Why not? The good thing is that Andrew Wilson is about to arrange a debate with Candace Owens. I'm sure that will be going very well. I think Mike Knowles.
I think it'll be derailed somehow.
And I think Mike Knowles is supposed to be the. So Michael Knowles just announced that he has been nominated as the moderator of the debate, but he only found out after he was informed that he's supposed to be the moderator by other people. And wait a minute, is this it? Hang on now. Just a second, let's check this out.
Of it. The first time hearing of it, that I have been volunteered to be a debate moderator over the murder of Charlie Kirk. I was volunteered by Andrew Wilson, who is a right-wing debate guy. I'm sure you've seen him online. He offered, I guess he was proposing a debate with Candace over the killing of Charlie and some of the conspiracy theories about it. So I was volunteered for this by Andrew. And then Candace accepted me as the moderator. It's great, I guess, that I'm like such a nice guy that I have been volunteered for this service without anyone checking with me at any point in that. So anyway, I don't know. That's percolating on social media right now. I'm truly, it's the first time hearing of it, so I haven't made a decision over whether or not that's a good idea. I don't, my view on the conspiracy theories generally is I don't think it's the right thing to debate in public. I kind of think that the murder of Charlie Kirk will be adjudicated in a court of law, not in the court of public opinion. And I think that the defense of Tyler Robinson will present its case and the prosecution will present its case. We've already heard a lot of this in the pretrial hearings. So anyway, I haven't made a decision on that. If you have some strong opinion about whether or not I should do that, please.
You will 100% do that, dude. Come on.
And I think Andrew Wilson somehow offered at least at first $100,000, then $200,000, then $300,000 to Candace Owens to accept this debate. And Kenneth Owens then said, okay, I will accept the debate if you pay me $500,000. But I think they eventually agreed to $300,000.
That's because he said he would crowdfund $1 million and he would get 500 for himself. And then she said, no, you don't get to do that. I'll take the 300.
Oh, that's funny.
Mhm.
So she's supposed to receive $300,000 from Andrew Wilson to have the debate. Cosine goes on, and people try not to look self-important, call people into greater love for Christ, and let people know that you also struggle. We call others to a standard that we can't reach ourselves. Jesus Christ. Thank you. That's actually very helpful. Very helpful. I really appreciate that. God bless you. CJSTV, Orthodox is the straight way. Ortho is a brand of plant killer and insect poison. They're called Ortho Bros because they're toxic. Say yes to Orthodox. Say no to Ortho. Based.
It is totally based.
All right, David, anything else? Nothing?
Nope.
All right. Are you going live tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. What about?
Thaddeus is still updating. He said he wanted multiple shows to catch people up on the drama before saying like what the ultimate meltdown was, and he says it was worse than Malik's meltdown in December, which was the biggest meltdown I've ever seen. So anyway, probably going through that.
That's crazy, man. That's absolutely crazy. All right, thanks everybody for being here. Make sure you donate $300,000 to the channel after you watch this. The link is in the description. $300,000. Thank you. You can also get Apostate Prophet shirts down there on the watch page or on the channel page. And we will be back. David will be back tomorrow. I will be back on Monday. We will be back on Monday, actually, together. We will be live on Monday evening. And I'll see you all soon. Thanks, everybody. God bless you all. And as always,
stay away from Islam.
Stay away from Islam.
Stay away from Islam. Stay away from Islam.
Stay away from Islam.
Stay away from Islam. Stay away from Islam. Stay away from Islam.
Stay away from Islam.
Stay away from Islam. Stay away from Islam. Stay away from Islam.